Welcome back, everybody. It's Jason.
I may or may not have just cleaned a brush.
No, he said that before I could lie about it.
I knew you were going to try to steal my thunder. I can't allow that to happen, Christopher.
I tried. Welcome in, everybody. Yes. Sarcastic Grandpa, you're so sarcastic with that sub of 20 months.
Was
Thank
that
you
a
so
sarcastic sub?
That was this. Ooh. Sarcastic sub is a really fun name for a sandwich shop. The sarcastic sub.
The sarcastic
right
sub.
Flicker Willy's Feder Filliers or Chili's, whatever that is. You're looking for it.
My eyes.
Oh, they're over here. Sorry. I keep them protected in a way. Jordan's.
My eyes. I can't see, Chris. Thank you, sir.
And now.
I can't see, Chris. Ooh, look at me. I can see. How are we doing, chat?
Welcome in, everybody. Super Duper John, Skinner, Dragons, Brent, Little Billy. Speaking of Chris, you're fired. I am hired still. Danger Boy, Dragon's Den, Rattlecan,
How
Wad.
did you already get fired?
I know, that was really quick.
I don't understand.
Jimbo. Jason needs his special glasses. Yes, those are not the same glasses that he's making
What do you
100
mean?
years from now.
These aren't special.
You're special.
Jen bought me like a 3-box set from the
Jason, no, you're supposed to like give us a really way better story than that.
They're like $1.95.
Hey, Ghost Hunter, thank you so much for that sub.
These might be like $5.
$5?
They might be more than that. They're
Where's
really
that?
nice. These are the nicest ones that I've ever got. They have like metal frames.
They're did you get them from Costco? Are you Costco people?
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
okay.
know if she might have.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Got them in the 3-pack.
I don't know. She says she's always listening, so maybe she'll pipe in here. I don't know where she is.
Jen, shout out to
All
Jen.
I know is I got a box of them from her. Best thing ever. Okay, short. Yep, you got to try brush goop. It's working magic right now as we speak. All of that soap just turned whatever color the damn paint and the ferrule of this brush was, and it will get all that out of there. Gross.
It's very
Gross.
You guys should see how I use my brush goop.
Ah!
I really get down and dirty with my brushes.
I rubbed too hard and I scraped my palm.
Lumberjack, what's going on? Dark Marker, shouldn't Chris be doing that? I don't know what you're talking about. Gilborn, thank you so much for that sub. Welcome in, buddy. No, Dark Markery, I don't dare clean the brushes.
He acts like he's afraid. He just doesn't want to do it.
I'm terrified. Whoa,
Whoa.
there's a ghost in here. No, I'll clean them, but I won't.
He won't.
Lumberjack saying, how was the vacation?
It was okay. It was okay. I had a good time at some of the things. I wished it would have been more in some instances. It was a business vacation still, but not directly related to Monument Hobbies. Although I guess everything I do business-wise is technically related to Monument Hobbies.
In some way, shape, or form.
In some way, shape, or form. Yeah, no, it was good, though. Nashville is a great city. So it's always good to get some time in
Nice.
fun places. I don't drink, and a lot of Nashville is nightlife and drinking, so that didn't do anything for me, right?
Yep.
So.
Ooh, that would be a twist. Little Billy, Jason was at Coachella this weekend.
I was not. Was that? Oh, it was this weekend.
Yeah, I guess so. So was the Masters. There's a lot going on this weekend.
Those guys that I was on the vacation with watched the Masters nonstop.
I was gonna say.
Woke up, turned the TV on, golf on, and it was like. So I learned more about golf than I ever cared about.
Did you get any Nashville hot chicken? Says Regengar.
No, I
Mr.
did not.
Ryan.
I do not prefer Nashville hot chicken. I don't care for it. It's too much like a dry rub. Not my favorite.
Ooh. Simple game. Simple Liz Games. Thank you so much for that sub. All right, let's start this off hot. After a long while, I've managed to learn how to glaze white and not make it look fuzzy shadowcast. That's a big deal. And hey, speaking of big deals and big days.
Why? I love when you talk about me like that, Chris.
Hey, we have to undercompensate somewhere. It is a... Oh, what? We released the
Wait,
Weird
wait,
West villains. We're gonna skate right across that. And
That's
expert
not how that works.
acrylics series number 2. 6 new paints and Whiplash Willy, Sidewinder Slim, and Rufus. Go pick yours up here. And by here, I mean this link that I'm about to give you beautifully on time, exactly in this moment, which is coming henceforth. Gosh darn it. I had this all set up.
Here we
Here
go.
it is. Got it. Here we
Paid
go.
professional.
Here we go. Boom. There are the new miniatures. They are live. You can get
Paid
them right now.
professional, chat.
And that's what the card says. Oh,
I don't know who let him in here.
here we go.
I don't know who let him in here.
And a collection of really goodies right there. If you haven't tried, which you probably haven't because they just released today, but if you hadn't seen Jason use that chrome oxide green, that is what I'm most excited for.
You're most out of the releases today. Chrome oxide green is the thing for you.
That's
cool.
I'm always excited about our releases, but chrome oxide green makes me want to paint some kind of goblin.
Oh, okay.
Which
All right.
there's Whiplash right in front of you.
All right.
Look at
Okay.
us. Look at us go.
All right.
Pretty professional green win. Ghost Hunter, I know what you're talking about.
We need paid professional green, guaranteed.
I need paid professional green.
Guaranteed.
That and red oxide tint, yes. There it is
In
right there. Chrome oxide green. Ooh.
in response to Chris's dreams and wishes, we're gonna start the day with some chrome oxide green.
Nice. Oh, that's perfect. That you can't plan that stuff.
You could, but I wouldn't have agreed to it had you planned it.
You can't plan that kind of stuff. That's just organic.
I would not have agreed to it. So it has to just kind of happen
It has to flow.
pseudo naturally.
Right. It has to flow. K Shorty says, "Hey, quick question. How thick should you glaze and wash medium be? After a good shake, it seems kind of thick. Is that normal?"
Yep. It's thicker. It's more like paint than anything else. It can be thicker than most of the Procryl colors straight out of the bottle.
Look at that.
You can add water to it. Do what you need.
That's exactly what I'm looking for in that chrome oxide green, by the way. Let's see. First thing did in the morning was order. Nice. First thing I did this morning was order the new expert acrylics. Excited to put them to work. Nice painting board. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. El Fire Spray, what's going on?
Hey, El. How are you?
Sarcastic grandpa. Jason, I'm surprised Chris hasn't driven you to drink. Oh. No comment.
Yeah.
Hey, call me Molden. Tried dark warm flesh for skin for my Trench Crusade Trench Pilgrims. I love it, but I feel like I would do better to start with another color on the black primer than go up there to dark flesh. Then washes and transparent suggestions for the base coat. Call me Molden. What are you trying to do? Try dark warm flesh for skin.
Dark warm flesh is too bright.
Okay.
So remember that you always want to start from dark. Well, okay. If you paint like I do, you're always looking to start from a darker base and then work up your highlights on top of that. Okay. Now, so if dark warm flesh is the color you really like as kind of the overall flesh tone, pick a color darker than that to base with, then do dark warm flesh and then warm flesh highlights. Because anytime you pick a triad of colors, let's just do this, right? Let's say, where's dark warm flesh over here? Dark warm flesh, okay? So I got dark warm flesh. If you like that color, it's got a nice warmth to it, right? So if you like that as like the main color of skin, then I would say, okay, well, I need a base coat. So I think I'm going to go with something like advanced flesh tone for my base coat. Then I'll do dark warm flesh and then warm flesh probably. And that would be my trio, right? My color that I want to see as the actual color of a thing, not just skin, but fabric, whatever, is the midtone. That's usually where you have the heaviest application of color, where you want the most punch. Your highlights tend to be fewer, unless it's something really shiny, then the highlight takes over in certain spots where you have bright shine. And then your shadow retreats into the low spots. So you do something like this over black, and you get a really nice skin tone where this is the center color. It still reads this way, but it's influenced in the shadows by the darker and in the highlights by the lighter, right? So now, if what you said is I really want pale skin and I want it to be warm flesh, then you would do this. You would probably move to something like this, and then maybe move to like a ivory or something in the highlight, right? So that now your dark tone, mid-tone, and highlight, right? Your color that you want the thing to look like is your mid-tone almost all the time, right? And then if you add too much highlight and it starts to look like this is the main color, you need to go back in with some mid-tone. If you add too much shadow and this starts to feel like the color, you need to add more mid-tone and highlight, right? So you're always balancing everything you paint based on the mid-tone. So choose the color you want your armor to be. If you want your armor to be blue, right, then you're going to pick the blue you want the armor to be, and then get a shade of that blue tone and a highlight of that blue tone and start painting. That's the way you want to start thinking about all colors. You know, the easy one is if I take dark jade, jade, and bright jade here.
Yeah.
And I say, I want jade to be the color of cloth. Well, good. Then you put dark jade and bright jade on it, and now that mid-tone jade, and then balance the way you paint to make sure that most of what you see is giving you the feeling of this. Not so much highlight that it starts looking like this, and not too much shadow that it starts looking like this.
Huh.
That's it. I just taught you painting. Thank you. You're welcome.
Midtones are super key.
Midtones are what your model, however much, and now remember, like I said, you can use so much highlight that it starts taking over.
Yeah.
But the mid-tone center color is what you want to pick your mid-tone for the color you want that part of the model to be, and then pick a highlight color and a shadow color, and don't let them overtake that mid-tone. That's the gist.
Painting.
It's that easy.
Hey, L Fire Spray, thank you so much.
Never heard of her.
Gifted subs too. 5 gifted subs and 5-month sub. L Fire Spray is saying, what'd she say? I've been trying the new OneStep paints with my commissions, and I'm truly hooked.
Aren't they
I may
great?
have to make some content. Yes, send us pictures.
Love it, L. Yeah, let us see what you're doing.
We
Love
appreciate that.
Thank
Hey,
you.
and hey, hugs and hearts for L for giving out those gifted subs. We appreciate you.
Glad you're digging them. They are fan-freaking-tastic.
Let's see. Shadowcast. What pigment powder should I get if I'm looking to do a war-torn beach base? Ooh. War-torn beach base.
The powders or the texture?
What about a combo? He's saying pigment powder, but pigment powder.
On the pigments, I think that like the darker browns into the yellow is a great way to do it. Remember, you can mix them. That's probably your best bet. Moving into here, let me grab them. They're down here, right, Chris?
Yes. Yes.
Someplace. Aha. I would probably go with
and hey, those came back in stock as well, everybody.
Yeah.
So if you're unaware, here's a link to what he's talking about. They're under there, right?
Yeah, I'm just having a hard time grabbing them. Because you've got raw sienna, and then you also have yellow iron oxide for the yellow side of things. And then on the browns, I think I'm probably more towards burnt umber than the raw for this, although the raw could work too.
Right? I love that.
But you can mix these in such a way that you get whatever sand color you want.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The raw umber is going to give a little bit more of a grayish green brown.
Yeah.
And so that with this can give you a darker, gloomier, war-torn beachfront. This, will give you something that feels a little fresher, probably. And then you can darken it up how you want. You can lighten it up with a white. I mean, remember, you can mix them just like paints to get whatever color you like. But somewhere in this kind of range, you get what you need. You can even have, like, if you're doing, like, exploded beach with, like, soot from bombshells, then you can go in with a black iron oxide, too. That's the thing, right? You look at them because now you look at it and you get the unbleached titanium. That looks great for sand.
You brought all of them out.
There you go. Buy them all. You probably don't need the red. You can buy all of them except for the red.
That's hilarious.
Honestly, that's how I use them. Right? You pull them all out and you mix and blend them together to get the right color dirt. That's why we went with these colors. It's not that I want to create a color for every kind of dirt. I want to create the colors that go into all dirt.
Yeah.
So these are the earth tones that you're going to find in everything you do.
Yeah. Right.
And so these 8 colors will do anything you need. Right?
Tapple Jackson said, I got my Death Guard done in time for the tourney this weekend.
Nice.
Everyone loved the bruised flesh workup. I even used the one-step purple for the cloaks. It looks so good. Nice.
Fantastic.
Hey, if you haven't gotten your hands on Adepticon stuff, obviously if you weren't at Adepticon, OneStep is coming out late May. So keep an eye out.
We have a lot of people that are feeling pretty bad they didn't grab it when they could have.
Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of info coming out,
reviews are starting to come out. People using them.
Yep.
Everybody's really digging them, so I am hyper pleased with that.
Yes, and we are going to be coming out with a lot of content over this month up until the release of Jason. Obviously, he's been using them for several months now, but we're going to be coming out with some stuff for you guys to watch, so keep an eye out for that. Lot coming up, chat. Lots coming up. Little Billy, unfortunately, I won't read your real questions, so that's on you. That's not a me thing. I'll read your question. When using OneStep, is it better to start with the darker color or lighter color when layering dark blue, black, and blue? That's a great question, Little Billy. Dang it.
Is it better to do what now?
Here it is. When using OneStep, is it better to start with the darker color or the lighter color when layering?
The lighter color, because you're applying filters. Remember, there's a change in thought when you're doing filtration, is that if you do the darker color, the lighter color will show the dark color through it and become darker. So do the lighter color first and then apply the darker color as shades is going to be the better way.
Baystar says, thoughts on a good highlight color for some leather based in mahogany glazed towards burnt sienna? Question mark.
Glazed from mahogany to burnt sienna, and you're asking for what? Highlight?
Thoughts on a good highlight color for some leather based in mahogany.
But working up to...
Yeah, working up towards burnt sienna.
I guess it depends. Do you want to go more orange with your highlight on the leather? I like taking into like the burnt sienna something like olive flesh or ivory, something along those lines. Khaki could work really, really good there just by itself and not having to mix if you don't want to mix a whole lot. So that's up to you. But I'm in the frame where I generally would take my mid-tone, like the burnt sienna there, if that's what you're working up towards, and mix in something light to it to keep that kind of reddish orange from the burnt sienna moving into my highlight. There may be a color that you could do straight with no mixing that would do that for you as well. Nova Orange comes to mind. Orange Oxide might not be bright enough, but that kind of mentality could work really well.
The Belial, is there a comparable color to dark crimson that doesn't have a glossy finish? Is it black red?
No, there is not the same color. Mix the matte varnish in with it if you don't like the satin or the gloss.
There you go. Rocco says, I've been using the OneStep paints to base coat some things. Once I got how much to dilute them, it's been light years above speed paints or contrast paints. You guys knocked it out of the park. Hey, Rocco, thank you so much, man.
Awesome.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, there are new things you're going to have to learn. You know, nothing Monument makes is like everybody else's. That's not our gig. That's not what we're in business to do. So, you know, a lot of people will forget that you have to spend some time getting used to new tools.
Yeah. But once you get a hand of the new tool.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
They are something else. We had Hellstorm Wargaming
Yeah.
tagged us in a bunch of stuff. And I
He
immediately
did.
got on there and said, so you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Let me help teach you this. And he's like, well, this is how I use contrast paint. And I go, well, this isn't contrast paint, you know?
Yeah.
And Mikey's great. And
he's a good sport with it too. He made some fun stuff.
Yeah, he had fun with it, saying, I got yelled at. You know?
Yeah.
But it was funny to watch him go through it because he was like, oh, yeah, it's definitely more saturated when I apply it thick. I just have to break the way that I think about it. I was like, yeah, it's made for that. Now, Chris and I have filmed some videos. As a matter of fact, he showed me, they were ready for me when I was out of town, but I watched them when I got back in town. Some video outtakes that we've done that'll show you all of the process that I use for applying them, how they were built, how to get the best action out of them. And I think that'll really, those will all come out prior to launch.
Yeah.
And people will be able to see how to get the most out of them very quickly.
Yep. I think with those, we've got several. That was just from our first outtake, too. So we've got a lot of info coming for you guys. So keep an eye out. Sissy Farmer. Chris, how was your Friday off? Hey, it was good. Thank you.
Oh, that's right. We gave Chris a day off because I was gone.
Ink and Ignorance, thank you for that raid. Welcome in, Raiders.
Sorry, Chad. I didn't.
It was either that or me painting trees.
He said he'd paint like 9 million trees. He said I'd paint 9 million hours of trees, and I told him to do that instead, but then I called him on his BS, and he said I wasn't being honest.
I said 9 hours. And
he wouldn't have done it, though.
Even then, I wasn't.
He wouldn't have done it. I knew he wouldn't have done it.
I almost did for a couple, like for 2 hours, but then I was indisposed that day. I decided to.
I mean, you just took a nude day at the house. What does that
Pretty
mean?
much.
Indisposed. Just walk around the house naked all day.
I wish. That's what I should have done.
Chris is a nudist.
My true form. My
true
self.
form. He goes and hugs trees all day.
Hey, man.
Speaking of trees.
Why don't you spend some time reflecting on that?
I will.
That guy always has the right answer.
He knows what's going on.
It's very, very strange how little mechanical therapy dude has always got the right thing to say.
Yes.
It's very scary to me.
The one and only PMS. Any good recipes for dirty trench mud, Jason? For some Trench Crusade minis.
Mud can be every color under the sun, right? I tend to think that in a trench environment, you've got a lot of dark greens, like muddy, dark yellow green, dark camo greens mixed in with dark umber, black browns. You've probably got some like khaki color in there, something like a lighter yellowy brown in there from like dried topsoil, but it can be whatever color you want. I would look at the models I'm painting and start looking at the type of earth tones that aren't really present in the general coloration and work from there. But there's a world where you can think of it as, if I were wearing camouflage, I'm trying to camouflage myself to the environment. So if they were wearing, fatigues, or Trench Crusade is going to be not fatigues like as in camo, but in just like pure color probably. But if you've gone with something like khakis or olive drabs or whatever grays you've picked for the clothes, think of what color is going to work well for that and make that your environment. It can be reddish mud, it can be whatever you need. When we talk about picking colors, we're talking about building an entire composition. People that, spend more time talking about just picking colors you like will get into very one-dimensional painting. It doesn't mean you can't start with colors you like, right? But think in terms of, okay, what other colors would look good in relation to these colors in the type of environment that I'm painting? And remember, I tell you a lot of times, what colors haven't you used yet?
Yeah.
Is a lot of your answer, right? So that if you're painting a model and then, doing a diorama base or, painting the feel of the trenches or whatever you got going on, think about the colors you haven't used on the model yet. I say this a lot more in regard to like, hey, you want to do the eyes on your Space Marine, the glow of the eyes on a Space Marine, or the gems on an Eldar model. What color should I use? And it's like, okay, what color haven't you used yet? What color family isn't represented well in how you're putting the model together right now?
Yeah.
And start there. You know, like take this guy. What colors do we not have a good representation of on the color wheel? Who can give me some ideas? I got 2 right out of the gates in my head that I know I haven't used yet, purposefully, so that I can use them for other things.
Orange?
Orange?
Okay.
Yep. I don't have a good representation of orange on here.
What else?
Purple?
Purple. I was gonna say purple, but then I was trying to remember if you were using that for underpainting, but not a visible purple.
I haven't. No.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Right. So no oranges, no purples, very muted greens. I don't have a very in-your-face green, even though he's a goblin.
Yep.
Right. So I've left myself the opportunity by using the red oxide tint as a big intrusive flesh tone on the goblin green skin to give me the ability to work more greens into it with more punch if I want to. Right, because his skin, pop in real close.
Yeah.
The skin, we just glazed the green over again, but it's pushing it into that really lifelike kind of grayish green skin tone. We have a lot of the magenta poking through, a lot of the red oxide tint poking through. So I'm really happy with that, which is why I'm moving. We put some green over the yellow on the vest, and I'm doing yellow over that to move it away from the skin tone. So always trying to take a look at how the colors that you're representing on the model at any given time are interacting with the other ones. It doesn't mean you can't do monochromatic stuff. Trench Crusade especially is something that makes me feel more monochromatic in its storytelling. Not that I want everything to look maybe like a black and white photo, but you can imagine how Trench Warfare kind of mixes all your colors together because you're in the mud all the time. And that's what mud does.
Yeah.
The color of mud gets on everything, the weathering takes over, and all of a sudden nothing is its own color. It's all mud color.
Chaos Angel, I accidentally discovered a great method for white-ish fur last night. Started with caramel brown and kept blending in olive flesh, nice dark ivory till I got to the point I liked it. Worked pretty well.
Very cool. I like the accidentally found a cool color combo.
My name is Mud. Super duper John, your name is Mud. I don't know about that. What does this mean?
Your name's not Mud.
It's dirt.
It's dirt.
What are you eating over there?
We got a Gabe.
I can turn the lights on for you so you're not in the dark. Okay. Primary sucks. Hey, hey, look at that. Jason turned the lights on.
He was doing his best Bane impersonation over there. That was born in the dark.
That's Dave Jones. Huge mistake I've made in my life. He dresses in navy blue, says Danger Boy. Okay.
Who does?
Who does? You mean this guy? No. He's got a yellow jacket. Who are you talking about, Danger Boy? I learned via Adepticon seminar, always work on saturation, then increase value. Hue can always come later. It has changed the way I paint and have been mixing colors way more, says Sigavax.
You learn via your Adepticon seminars, work on saturation, then increase value. Hue can come later on. I guess we tend to talk about saturation in terms of coloring. So again, that's just a language thing. I don't know who you were learning from, but value is the most important, then saturation, then hue.
Value, saturation, hue.
Saturation, hue.
Huh. Why is that? I know that's a huge question.
Well, we talked about it a lot before I left, right? We had a whole long spiel on it. Is that value is what's giving depth to these pants that I've painted, right? Value is what's making the grays and blues that I use for the steel feel like metal against everything else. It's that definition between brightness and darkness that provide contrast. Contrast comes from your manipulation of value.
Yeah.
Right? Because value is the brightness of a color. So white being the highest value, black being the lowest value, everything else existing in between. The way that you use and place those brightnesses next to each other creates contrast, which creates visual interest and creates volume. Because putting the shadow on one side of a thing and brightness on another side of a thing makes it look three-dimensional. And so keeping your shadows and interplay of contrast going that way is all done with values. It builds volume, right? So I used to teach a class called Value, Volume, and Victory. Because if you start with values to build volumes and contrast, that's how you get great models. Then hue and saturation come together, because saturation is a function of hue in terms of where you've desaturated it or presented it in its full saturation, as to how that color looks and works with other colors. So right now we're going at fairly high saturation for like the yellow and the blue. Everything else is fairly desaturated.
Yeah.
Right? The red is fairly saturated, but it's only one coat of the alizarin crimson. It's just that alizarin crimson is such a punchy color anyway, so it has a fairly high saturation to it already. But we'll play around with it. So we have some saturated colors with some desaturated colors in the browns that work very well together and give punch, but that may make it too clown suit, so you're always playing around with the saturation of hue once you're placing hue on it. So I always teach that saturation and hue go together. So your value to build contrast and volumes to then put color and saturation through hue and that on the model is the correct stepping. If somebody is interplaying saturation with value, could be the discrepancy in language there. We tend to talk about saturation as, because like if you were on a camera app, when you go to saturation, that's just full color, or when you strip saturation out, you go to black and white.
Yeah.
Right? And so value exists regardless of saturation of color. And we talked about vibrancy was what we were discussing last week before I left. And vibrancy is really saturation a lot of time. Vibrancy is kind of the collective of how it all works together to give you vibrancy. But vibrancy is kind of a combination of contrast and value and saturation together.
Gotcha.
But yeah, you're right. If you pay attention to value and volume first, right, then it was like last week when we took and we made the screen black and white. We said we were going to do that. We need to come up with a quick way to do that, because he created a filter. Can you just turn that filter on? If you go to the you have to choose the black magic one. Yeah, that, and then we pick the filter, and I think you can just unhide it. Right
there. It is. Yep.
Right. That.
Uh-huh.
That is value.
Uh-huh.
Right. That does not really show you saturation of color. This could all just still be done in black and white. And I guess technically your highest value would be your most saturated color in some cases. But if you've added white to a color, you've technically desaturated it. We don't talk about white at full saturation. White is at full contrast. Like your K channel in your CMYK is your contrast, is your white and your black. I don't necessarily talk about full saturation white, because that's just a contrast thing. But so when you look at it, you want to try to find all of your textures and your shadows and your volumes when you take the saturation away, which is what we've just done here, right?
Yeah, and then when it comes back, okay, I get it.
Right. You can see that we've used more or less saturation to create contrast in certain areas by using color that way. But it's all still, you want to look at it like this and see, are you creating shadows and textures and volumes where they need to be by stripping your color away. And then when you add the color away, add color back in now, then it just gives you that, you just look at it in terms of how saturated do you want those colors. Because this could have all been painted in browns and grays and not felt very vibrant or saturated, but it still is technically.
Yeah. Huh. There you go. I think that's a great way to write that down. Really quick, Panic Bomb, 455 stream streak?
What?
That's not possible.
That's
Dark
not
Mockery
possible.
with 85. Hey,
I love how you say that's
not possible. Xenobon, you've got some as well. The
take some of the red oxide tint here.
Where is it? Somebody just ordered the Pigments and Whiplash Willy. Nice, Chai-Cat. Are the red parts here all the same material, Matthias, or as these placeholders for later?
Basically, placeholders for later is how I'm treating everything you see right now. I looked at the box art, so to speak, the way that the image was done by Adrian initially.
Yep.
And am basing off of that where the different hues want to live. And now I'm coming in and kind of color correcting how I want my yellows to look and so on and so forth.
And then, great segue too, Derpstick, what's the workup on that little bag that's on his left leg?
It's literally just the brown. You'd have to watch the video to watch how I did all of the browns. Yeah. All of the browns, including the hat, the bag, all of it, were all done using the exact same color base and then using the various color filters over the top. And in that case, it was the crimson OneStep over the top of the browns. And I just used the Nicolazzo yellow, the burnt umber, and white to create the underlying colors for all of my brown leather on this guy. I did that on purpose to show how you can do foundational coloring and sketching of textures. And then, so like the coat, the belt, the boots, the hat, were all painted the exact, and the little red bag were all painted exactly the same way. And then different filters over the top of them. Right? Yeah. This was the dark green brown OneStep. This was the crimson OneStep. I don't remember what this was. This was warm brown OneStep on the jacket. And this was black OneStep. Not the blue black.
I know.
The like cheater black.
Cheater black. Oh, boy.
It's cheater black.
Oh, boy.
It's the black from set 2. So I have done some cheating on this model. You can't do all these colors, even if you have the initial OneStep set. Don't be mad.
Danger Boy, I would like to see a full stream, or at least starting a model in this black and white mode.
Sure, we can do that.
People, I think, really...
you know what would be fun, and we've done it in the past, is that we did that. We would do and take a photo of a model that I had done.
Okay.
And black and white.
Okay.
And then show it to you, and then have people guess what the coloring might be on it, because it's almost impossible to tell, but it's fun.
Like the full reveal.
And then you just show the use of color after, because if you get good at painting where you're the black and white, zero saturation of color version of your model looks fantastic, then you win. Huh. Your use of color can still be kind of clown suit, right? You can do pinks and greens and purples and really weird colors. But if your contrast is good, it will all still make sense. People will just be like, why did you choose to put those colors there?
Yeah.
But the shape will look good, right? Everything else will look good. And you can get away with murder in a lot of cases if you maintain your value and volumes correctly.
Hey, you know what?
I know a lot of what's, a couple of who's.
We don't encourage getting away with murder, but you want to know what's a steal? Sorry, that was a really long-winded way to say all those links I just posted up. The Expert Artist Acrylic Series 2 came out today. The new Frameables and weathering pigments are back in stock. So there you go. Great segue, Jason.
So that was really weird.
Hey, Mo, what's going on? Hopefully everything's okay.
Mo, hope you're doing right. Doing good. We were asking after you last week.
We know a Mo. Good to have you back. If they're just there it is. Speaking of murder, a group of crows is called a murder. Chris, make like a crow and fly out of that producer chair. Hey, joke's on you, I'm standing. You sack-filled baggins. That's little Billy for you. Dang your streaks. Yeah, Panic Bomb, that's a crazy streak. A long streak. 455 days. You've been watching for a full year.
What?
Essentially.
That's
and
like
more.
Like a year and a half.
That's a long time. Valthorn says the best part of long solitary drives through nowhere is that you get plenty of time to think, okay? Give it another week or two, and I may fully replace everything with Pro Acryl. With everything coming out, I need a line that I can go competitive as well as high tabletop without it getting weird. Nice. That's
without
great.
It getting weird? I don't understand. What's the getting weird part?
Yeah, who's getting weird? It ain't me.
But I'm all for it.
That's great.
I mean, that's what we made our paints to do, right? I paint at every single level imaginable, whether from display to tabletop to, just teaching fast. And I never want to have my tool get in the way. I said that out loud. So the reality, though, is that you don't ever want to be in a position where your tool hinders the way that you complete the task. And so Procurel will never be that problem for you. Once you get used to it, right? You do have to learn the tool. But once you get used to the tool and learn how to use it, you'll always just reach for Procurel and it'll do what you want it to do. You can set your expectations and then just focus on you being the problem, right? People laugh, but I've always said I wanted always for the artist to be the only problem in completing the task, because you can train away your problems. Yeah. You can go watch a video. You can learn what you need to learn to make sure that you can do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Right? You cannot train your tools to be better. They just are what they are. We spend too much time as hobbyists fighting with our tools and doing things like, adding different mediums, or, hey, you can use this, but you got to do this, and this to make it work. And it just gets old. Buy the paint, use the paint.
Valthorn, go weird equals mix and match 3 different lines to get the colors and coverage right for a given situation. Gotcha. That's what you mean.
Now, there's always a time where you'll find a color that one line makes that's just unique enough to not have a corollary or a version in another line. And so that's always it. Like I always say, I don't care. People be like, what's the best to use? I'm like, the best to use is the one that gets the job done the way you like it.
Yeah.
Period. That's the easiest way to say it. There is no perfect brand, not ours, not anybody's, because you're going to have something you enjoy, whether it's a color we don't make or a technique that we don't do as well as somebody else does. And that's going to be completely subjective, and never feel bad about that, saying that, no, there's this one thing I do where I have to use this thing from Tamiya.
Right.
Great. Fantastic. Use that thing from Tamiya. So long as it gets the job done and you're happy with the job at the end, bingo. Anybody that tells you different is lying to you.
Mo said, last week was super emotional. Her dad passed Monday. Her second grandson was born the next day by 15 minutes, and all the stuff that goes with both. Wow.
Oh,
what a roller coaster, Mo.
Sorry to hear that.
Hopefully everything is okay, though. In the politest way to say that. I'm sure it's a crazy week.
All right. I need some white.
There it is.
Why does my trash can always get pushed way up underneath?
Why does it get pushed?
Who's doing that?
That's me. I'm sorry. I pushed it too far, chat. Gilborn, any plans on making color shift paints similar to Turbo Dork or Scale 75's Opalescent? Question mark?
Anybody that's followed me for a long time knows I'm not into effect style paints like that require the light in the room to make the job look a particular way.
I guess those are technically true metallic metals, right? Are they?
The color shift ones, they have metal flake in them maybe, but they don't have to.
Okay. Why am I thinking they do? Some of them might.
But they require the light in the room to do the heavy lifting. Like if you walk into a room that has crappy lighting, your paint job doesn't look as good as it should have, because the paints are relying on there being a specific amount of light to make them come alive and do their job. So I don't like those. It doesn't mean we would never make them. If I could find, like everything else, if I could find something that really made it something that I felt good about and confident in saying, yeah, you should use these because XYZ.
Yeah.
But I don't use that kind of paint very often. Very, very situational for me.
Any idea when the Carbon Black Expert acrylic will be back in stock?
I do not know. I noticed this morning that we went out very quickly of the original set because of Carbon Black, but I don't have a good answer for you on when I might expect that back in.
Let's see. What red did you use on that hair and shirt? It looks great.
It's not hair. It's like a do-rag
Yeah.
that he's wearing. And it is alizarin crimson hue from the new Series 2 of the Expert acrylics that just went live in the store today.
Great segue, Jason.
I did it.
Oh,
I did the thing, Chris.
There it is. Oh, bam. There
I did
you
the
go.
thing, Chris.
Yes, if you are unfamiliar, we launched Series 2 of the Expert Acrylics. You can go get them at that link right there. They also come in singles. That's the set link. Also, Whiplash Willy, Sidewinder Slim, and Rufus, the 3 Weird West villain frameables, also launched today. Huge day. We're bringing Mondays back. We're really bringing Mondays back with that. So go grab them. And also, here's that link as well. Boop, boop. You're welcome. Hi, Jason.
Hi.
When do you Zenithal white over black primer? Oh, when you Zenithal white over black primer, do you thin your white primer at all or straight from the bottle? If you don't thin the white primer, does it give a patchy look? Question mark.
Usually I don't thin it, and no, it doesn't give me any problems at all. You can thin it. I will thin it if I'm looking to have more visibility of the grays in that Zenithal. So if I want the white to lay over the black and give me a more readable gray, then I'll thin the white a little bit. And then I will continue to build it up on the high spots so that it goes to pure white. But no, I typically don't, because usually when I'm doing Zenithal highlight, I'm not going for anything, too over the top. I'm just looking for white over black. And in that case, no, I don't thin it. I just spray it right over the black.
CVO, got some good help on using Noosh at a Adepticon booth. Great people. Hey, Noosh. I love Noosh. I just ran out of Noosh at home. Are you surprised?
Not at all.
I got to get some more Noosh.
The way you use it
Blah, blah,
is a little
blah.
crazy.
It's great, though. Ted Onion says, when is the Art of Jason Cray's book coming?
I don't think Dave will ever do a book on me. I don't finish enough artwork. He needs people that finish artwork.
No, but Jason, that's the art piece. Get it? The art piece is that the art is never finished, and then that is the beautiful mantra of the book. Art is never finished. Right? You like that? There it is. That's the TED Talk point.
I exist in a weird realm in our industry because I am a manufacturer. And so I don't get to play in the artist space like other artists do very well, because I'll always be viewed as that guy that makes stuff. And so, anybody that would do a book like that with me knows that they would be doing a book like that with Monument Hobbies. And that particular, like, Dave is contracted by Army Painter basically not to work with us.
Oh, there you go.
So I don't know how far his contract works into that stuff, but
Doghouse and Mo.
Dave and I are good friends. So
The unfinished work of Jason Craze. But that's what I'm saying. The art is never done.
what we would most likely do is more of a how-to anthology where we would go through and really just kind of pick apart all the different ways of painting and go through my philosophy on putting paint on models, so that it would be more about, application of paint. That I could see myself doing. I would enjoy that a lot. If somebody, I always said, everybody keeps asking me for a book, and I'm like, well, if you'll be my editor and work for Peanuts, then we're good.
Peanuts.
Peanuts are percentage of sales, either one,
There you go.
which is also probably going to be Peanuts, but we'll see.
Just got my first airbrush, says Haley. Do I need to thin the main line paints, and what is the ideal PSI?
Great questions. These are always very subjective. You will change them as you get used to airbrushing. I would say yes, as a beginning airbrush artist, you need to get used to thinning and treat every paint as if it probably needs to be thin when you start. You'll learn as you get better that that's not really the case, right? You do not have to thin all of them. I don't thin our paints very often at all when I put them through the airbrush, unless I'm filtering. But when you're starting out, learning to control paint is going to be one of the biggest hurdles. So getting used to how to thin paint, get the right consistency, is critical to enjoying airbrushing. And so I say, yeah, get used to thinning your paint all the time. PSI, I spray at 22 always and never change. Some people change all the time. So you might have, you might spray 20 to 22 for certain things you do, and then go up to 30 when spraying heavier paints and base coats, and then down to 15 to 18 when spraying filters and thinner paints. Just depends on how you find all that working for you as you're learning. The thinner the paint, the harder it is to control. From a viscosity standpoint. So when you're thinning paint, you thin it with water, or some thinners are also very low viscosity. You learn the term viscosity is going to help you a lot, meaning that, the lower the viscosity, the more it flows like water, the more runny it is. And so the lower the viscosity, the harder it is, harder it is to control when spraying. That's just the facts, right? Because as soon as it hits the model, it wants to kind of skate around on the model surface, and you're going to have to be careful with that. So as you get used to all of that, you'll have your paint spider web out on you a little bit, things like that. You'll be playing with PSI to do it. Once you get better and more confident with your spraying, you'll probably land on a PSI that you spray it all the time and you stop thinking about it. Unless you continue on doing, more delicate techniques, I guess, where you might need that.
And would you adjust the PSI based on the needle or nozzle size, say, Kid Shorty?
Nah.
You just go for it with 22.
I'm literally at 22, 23 PSI all the time, needle size, paint, everything. I would say that somewhere in that 20 to 30 range is where you're going to want to fall. So I would play with it until you find that you can do most of what you need to do all the time at that range, so you don't worry about it. Like I said, the biggest thing is when you get to low viscosity paints, which generally means when you've thinned it down like water.
Yeah.
Then, when you spray, it's more about that control. If you watch my little short that Chris posted about that paint, no paint zone,
yep,
it all becomes control of your trigger finger. When you're about to get color, and then judging when you're getting color, how far back to pull the trigger to get more or less, or let it forward to get less color. That's where you're going to spend the bulk of your time wanting to learn the airbrush. So that first dialing in of, I would say, set it at 25 PSI and don't mess with it, and then do everything else with your work at the brush. Because PSI is going to have much less of a impact as you turn it up and down. And if you get used to turning PSI up and down to give you the right output, you're always going to have problems long term, because you're never going to identify how thinning and how spraying just the right amount of paint is really where the answer lies. Doesn't mean that there aren't great artists that will adjust the PSI as they go, but it just doesn't have as big of an effect on heavier viscosity things like what we do. It's only at low viscosity. Inks, the people that do photo retouching use very, very thin inks to do photo retouching. That's where the airbrush really got its stride. And then PSI control is very important, because you may be doing like little shadows on eyeballs on photos, and so then controlling the PSI so you're getting very little paint out is much more intricate and detailed work than anything we'll ever do. Set it and forget where we're at.
Rocco says, question, Jason, when you're painting your brightest value, how do you keep yourself from adding too much? I struggle adding too much and washing out my contrast. Great question, Rocco.
Well, the reality is I'm always looking at that contrast and doing what I call painting yourself into a corner. So like with the yellows that we're using right here, right? If I come in and I grab just the yellow, right? Probably not going to work great on my skin, but if I have the yellow as my base, and then I'm using the Aerolide Yellow Deep as the shade tone, right? So I'm just always paying attention to how much of each is showing. And if I know that, okay, in order to get my volume done, I need to come back in and have more of my base midtone and force my shadow back like that, right? That looks good. And now I have that base volume done there. Then I'm taking white and adding it into the primary yellow here. to give me my highlight color. And then I can either, you know, if I'm just doing like a thin edge highlight, then that kind of speaks for itself and I get the highlight I need. If I'm doing a volume that doesn't have an edge, Space Marine shoulder pads, you know, a lot of other shapes like heads and faces and round stuff that you'll do, you know, you're going to put your highlight on there. And then you just have to continue watching, like, okay, well, how much of my midtone did I just cover up? Is that too much brightness? Now my little pill shape looks like it's bright yellow and I lost my midtone. So then maybe I come in and grab my midtone color and force it back up further into my highlight to get that coloring back. So I'm always just paying attention to what I need. And the way that I discuss it mostly is that paint yourself into a corner. Here's your base coat. That's your dark color. Then for, you know, ease of explanation, paint 75% of the area you just covered with your base coat color, paint that with your midtone, right? And then with your highlight, do the same. You know, as you go every color brighter or darker, just cover 75% max of the color before it. And this, you can see very quickly why I mean paint yourself into a corner, because eventually you run out of room, right? So if I keep doing 75%, I can keep mixing brighter and brighter colors until I run out of space, right? Until eventually maybe I'm just a dot of white at the top, right? That color scaling, I call this painting yourself into a corner. And this is, you know, you can say, oh, you just painted 6 colors. Well, yeah, because I had all this space. But on a Space Marine shoulder pad, you're not going to fix 6 colors because you run out of space quicker because it's this big.
Yeah.
Right? So you won't be able to read all these colors except on a very large area. And so you may only do 3 of these colors. So you do the dark here, and then you run out of space. But if you go by this 75% of the space that the color beneath it shows, then you're going to see this amount of shadow, this amount of midtone, and this amount of highlight. And then I adjust based on that. That might be too much of this bright color because I'm seeing all of this area here of the bright color, but I've covered up this and this, right? So now I have less shadow, less midtone, more bright. And so I might then, you know, bring the midtone back and do it there to where now this much is midtone, this much is highlight, this much is shadow. So I'm always looking at that as I'm painting and then just going by this, that when I run out of space, stop adding color. But make sure you leave yourself enough space to get the brightest color you need. You know, if you need this little poke of white, make sure you leave enough of wherever your highlight color is to get that little poke of white on there. That make sense?
Yeah.
But it really is just paying attention as you're painting. There's no hard, fast rule of how much paint you can put on an area or how to get it just right. It's all going to come down to what you want it to look like. And adjusting back and forth. You know, there's times where I'll go in like I've been doing on this and I'll add more brightness in certain areas and then take some away in others and go back again and darken it up, brighten it up, always taking a look, take a step back. It really helps to do that. You know, now that we can, well, I say now, we could always do it, but we'll do that filter and have Chris added in as a macro.
Yeah.
To where we can just make the screen black and white. Because on this, again, go and grab that filter again. Right? Turn it black and white, take a quick black and white photo, and look at like this yellow vest I'm painting. Do we see pop in close? Oh, you can't really pop in close. Yeah, well, just leave that on. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, I can.
Right? So now can you move that out of the way so I can see the big screen? Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So now you're looking at it and you're saying, okay, well, we don't know it's yellow anymore, but we're looking at it for value. And so you can still see midtone, right? That's this area in here. You can see the highlight, which is usually just on the top of the folds, right? And then you can see darkness, which is in here towards the button placard on this side, and then more darkness on this side as it goes along the volume of the cylinder of his torso. So I'm keeping the overall volume correct. I've got more shadow on this side, which is where most of my shadow lies anyway. And then brightness on the folds towards the light over here, right? And so this feels pretty good to me if I want it that bright, right? I also have to look at it in contest with like the metal belt buckle, and the metal belt buckle right now looks at the same brightness as the yellow. So I might want to punch more value onto the non-metallic metal because right now they're kind of the same value. whereas the skin doesn't have enough value to compete with everything else, and also doesn't have enough change in contrast to really show its volumes as well as everything else. So you'll notice all these other areas where we haven't done this work, including like the leather of the belt, all of this. All we've really done is a little bit on the pants, the non-metallic metal, and now this vest, a little bit on the hat here. Everything else is very flat looking when it's in black and white. See?
Yeah.
Because all we've been doing is kind of working up the base color, the base hue, to understand what hues I want everywhere, and then we'll go back and add these values back in on it.
Huh. Nice. Yeah, I'll make that into a bit macro for us.
I think it would help people to say, punch it out into black and white. Now when we get here and we look at that same thing with the value, you'll notice the belt buckle stands out more because it goes to almost pure white. And pure white as the highest value will always take precedence over any other visual color and contrast. So it's not pure white yet. But if I poke a little bit of pure white on these buckles, then all of a sudden the yellow won't compete with it at all, even though in the black and white it did. And the blue didn't come out as bright. So when you add the saturation of color in, it helps to define that a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you don't want everything to go to the same brightness. You have to remember what's the material you're looking at. My leather should never be as bright unless it was like patent leather, that plasticized, shiny, leather pants kind of leather. It should never go as bright as, like, say, the belt buckle.
Right.
Right. And the yellow we might tone down. I think the yellow has stripes on it. We're doing a striped vest anyway. So that part will come later.
Black Wolf, thank you so much. 85 months. Woo! That's a long time. Ted Onion says, "How do you apply paint yourself into a corner when it's a round organic thing?"
Well, you still have a corner. The corner is just where you're running your highlight is always going towards the light source. So you always have a corner.
Yeah.
Don't stop thinking about it geometrically. It's metaphorically a corner, because on like a Space Marine shoulder plate, right, you have a corner you're painting into, which is the top. It's wherever the brightest shine is, right? So you're going from dark to light, and you're positioning that stopping point wherever the brightest highlight is, that little spherical highlight at the top of the shoulder, right? Notice how the head doesn't have one of those yet, but the head would need one. Right, so we have that. We place that highlight. That's your corner. Now you have to divide where you go from dark to light across that distance. I have exactly that far from this spot to that spot to use my base tone, my midtone shadow, my midtone highlight, my highlight. Right.
Yeah.
So you have that kind of trajectory. You know that I have that much distance to go from my darkest color to my brightest color. Now you just control it within that. That sets you where your corner is. Once you're done at the top of that poke of brightness, you're done. You have no place else to put paint. Any other paint you put on covers the paint you put on before and makes it useless, and provides more contrast than maybe what you wanted, right? Especially when going for smoother blends. So that's what that means by painting yourself into a corner.
That's a good...
I paint from shadow to highlight, and so the final highlight location is your corner. You're painting from shadow to that place where you run out of space. You can't put any more paint on that highlight, right? So I have to pre-think, like, what's my brightest color? And if I'm going to try to put 4 colors on that Space Marine shoulder pad, then I have to divide it properly to where all 4 colors are visible the way I want them, but not overly so, right? You're not just going to divide it into quarters and paint your dark color, midtone, dark, midtone, highlight in each in 25% increments, because then it looks like candy corn. You're trying to blend to where your highlight might only be a small percentage of the space you've eaten up. But you got to make sure that by the time you get to that small space, you're using the right color at the right value to get the effect done. We've just now talked about the 100% hardest part of painting, which is getting the evaluation of light onto your model in value and volumes. That is 100% the hardest part you'll ever do. Color becomes a non-issue when you understand how to do that. So I'm probably making it sound way easier than it really is. When you go apply it, it's all of that math in your head that then starts going into what's the material I'm painting, how shiny is it, right? Because the shinier an object is, the less space you have to go between your darkest color and your brightest color, because that's what gives you shine, is putting them close together. So you might go through fewer steps of color. If you do smooth blends and go through 7 colors from your darkest to your brightest, and each one of those colors goes up a little step in value, now you get something that's more like cloth. It doesn't look as shiny because it takes a long, smooth gradient to get to its brightest location, and its brightest location is small. Whereas non-metallic metal has, dark, mid-dark, super bright. You make that jump and you go over a bunch of your values to get there so that you get the shine, like our belt buckle. Our belt buckle goes from, darker Payne's gray to Payne's gray with white and then white.
Yep.
You don't have a lot of blends in between. It literally just goes from bright to dark, which makes it feel shiny.
Huh. A lot of science talk going on, Jason.
No, it's not. I mean, it is.
If I'm listening to it because it's not, that's not a bad thing, right? Because I'm thinking about, it's like, okay, that black and white filter to show the value is very striking, like when you do it, right? So
it's one of the best tests, and we talk about
yeah.
it all the time, to take a photo along the way while you're painting your model. Use the filter to strip out all the saturation, so you go to black and white.
Right.
Whatever. Some phones have a black and white filter. You can just hit the filter, makes it super easy. Some don't. Some you got to go in and strip out the saturation, whatever. But take a look at your model in just black and white. Not because you want it black and white, but because it'll tell you, like, if you can see all the details without color on them, then you're starting to do a really good job painting.
Ooh, Tug Bobo, first time chat. I just picked up the base pack and expansion sets 1, 3, and 4. Bro,
Awesome.
These paints go on like butter, and the pigment load is amazing on your product. First time chat. Hey,
Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to stop in and tell us. We really appreciate
Yes,
that. And
we
thank
do.
you even more for joining our crazy little family of Procurl.
Had him for a week and loved him. Nice. We really appreciate that. Welcome in. And for all of you who are unaware of what happened today, we launched
These models.
These models and the Expert Artist Acrylics Series 2. Right here. Those links that I just put
You
up.
can finally get your hands on the Weird West villains, which we're painting Whiplash Willy.
Whiplash Willy.
So you see right now a little bit of Pyro Red on the peaks of the folds on the shirt there.
Yeah.
Make it look totally different than the rest of the Aerolide, or I'm sorry, of the Alizarin Crimson that we put on as a base for the do-rag, right? And well, I guess it's just the do-rag and the shirt, right?
Yep.
So it makes it look a lot different, and all you're doing is placing it a little bit on the top of the folds. You're letting the crimson, the Alizarin Crimson, still stay on the underneath portions in the darkness, and you're getting a much better showing of shape out of this real quick.
That do-rag's got a lot of character. I like that. Like him. Really fun.
So that was just 2 lines of red over the top of the crimson, but now it looks like a scrunched fold at the neck of the shirt. And so that's what's bringing shape back into it, where you can kind of see the shape because there's a little bit of shadow on these things. But when you go in and you punch your first bit of brightness, now I want a little bit of shadow up underneath because of the hat, so I don't want it to get bright until down here. Right? And Pyro Red is not a super bright color value-wise. It's in the mid-range.
Yeah.
This is not bright like white. But against the Alizarin Crimson, it's a lot brighter.
Tug Bobo says, you were referred by a longtime Bolt Action Valhalla friend. Oh, nice.
Oh, awesome.
I guess I'll see you guys at the Dallas Open, ? If yes, I'll pop in and say hi. Are we going to the Dallas Open?
I may be.
Oh, when is that?
I think it's the same time as Valhalla.
Oh.
I don't remember. I think they moved Valhalla to the spring now, actually.
I think they might have. Shadowcast, the whole painting into has really made a huge difference in how the understanding of light. I see the most impact in glazing, but it works every time. The whole painting into has really made a huge difference.
What does that mean?
Yeah, Shadowcast.
Did we forget a word, or?
Yeah, it says the whole painting into. Are you talking about painting into a corner? Is that what you're talking about? Oh, Valhalla is in April. Dallas is in May. Oh, interesting.
Ooh.
Is it April?
I have to look. May is contrast in Poland.
When do you go to Contrast?
So I have to, it's my birthday. It's Memorial Day weekend.
Oh.
Too many conventions, not enough time. Not enough Jason.
Sorry, into a corner. Oh, okay. The whole painting into a corner has really made a huge difference in how the understanding of light works. I see the most impact in glazing, but it works every time.
100%.
Okay.
Great.
And that Chai Cat says, if I'm starting from black or dark purple, should I be building up with white or bright pale yellow for the gradient if I'm planning to filter with OneStep or something similar? Why would you use one over the other?
I'm starting from black or dark purple.
Great question.
Either. I prefer to use chromatic undertones
some
for
color?
my zenithals. So
Some fun
I
color,
like
yeah.
bright pale yellow, bright ivory, taupe,
That's
things
what
like
I've been-
that. And then if you need more contrast to really get the one-step top coat to really punch, then you can put white even over that. So you can do. Remember, you can do a 3-color zenithal too.
The color zenithals just make your characters pop more, your colors, right?
It can, because the use of something like pale yellow is going to make sure that there's going to be more warmth in the colors you put over the top. White is going to desaturate the colors you put over the top a little bit. The problem that like Mikey from Hellstorm Wargaming was having when he was using the OneSteps in his shorts,
Yeah.
was that his zenithal top coat was too gray. He didn't go abrupt enough with his white. He kind of just feathered the white over the black, so it looked like gray over black. And then you put the OneStep on, and it all looks desaturated because it doesn't have the white to punch through.
Right.
So you got to think about what an effect the underpainted color has.
Yeah.
White is going to give you the most brightness and make the most vibrancy out of that color that you put on top. But it's also going to desaturate that color because that vibrancy is coming from a pure neutral white.
Yeah.
Whereas pale yellow can give you almost the same punch because it's almost as bright as white, but it also has a little bit of yellow in it. So if you put like red over the top of it, now your red punches a lot more.
Right.
That's what we talk about with this guy, right? When I did the pyro red over the zenithal on this zenithal was dark purple, red oxide, and bright pale yellow.
Yeah, we'll have to do one on that, Jason.
And the bright pale yellow is what keeps that red on the highlight level because there's nothing else done here. This is just pyro red filtered over those base coats. No highlight done at all. That's why that red is so punchy, because it's gone over that bright pale yellow. And that bright pale yellow is nearly white, so it gives me that vibrancy.
Right.
But it is also a warmer color than white, so it lets the red stay red and punchy. The first time you put the red on, it's scary because it's like hot pink. It doesn't look red at all when it goes over that yellow. Second layer starts becoming red, and the third layer is this, right? It just gives you that perfect highlight to where your red is the punchiest red you'll get at very little effort, right? It's very low investment, I call it, when you do this, because the purple and the red oxide still give you good shadows, and then that punchy red sits over the yellows. So it's the same thing when using the OneStep colors. Just figure out, is a white going to give me what I want here, or should I use something like an ivory or bright pale yellow, whatever.
So you could air write a highlight pass of airbrush. Okay, shorties. So you could airbrush a highlight pass of a bright gray and then a finer highlight pass of white or bright pale yellow to push gradients a little further, ?
Yeah, I would typically use something like neutral gray
Got you.
over black because it's going to give you a good half-step value jump. So if I were doing a 3-color, I would do black, neutral gray, and then whatever my bright color was. Remember, you're not trying to make really smooth blends there. You can, and it'll give you really good effect in the end. What you're really trying to do is define contrast on the model. And if you go with bright gray and then a white, those are going to be too close. You want to go black, then what's right in between the middle of black and white, neutral gray. Black, neutral gray, white would give you a really good 3-pass zenithal that would give you really strong midtones, shadows, and highlight. And then you can trade all 3 of those colors for something else, right? So you could use dark purple. What would be kind of good here if we were just doing like a standard, right? You could do, if you're doing my kind of work, you could do dark purple, and then I might look at something like...
This is your zenithal?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Might do dark purple into cool gray.
Ooh.
Right? And then cool gray into bright pale yellow. And that would be a really, really rad 3-color zenithal.
That would be.
Right?
Cool gray.
Yeah, and if you wanted to keep everything, if you wanted to lean more into the warmth of the purple, then you could take something in the mid-tones that was more like a khaki.
Yeah.
Right?
Shadow cast. So you could use it as a color filter, right?
Or even
Yeah.
a brown.
Uh-huh.
Right? Those all have really good value scale there. Dark, mid-tone, bright. And then put your color over the top of that.
As a filter.
Yeah, as a filter.
There you go.
Because the question was like when using OneStep. And so OneStep
Right.
would then adopt those values, but also some of that color, that warmth. You know, you don't want to use too crazy a color. If you use like dark purple, and faded plum, then it is going to give it real purple undertones under everything. But sometimes it's neat to change those. That's where all the play comes from with color. You can choose to do all sorts of crazy things and just see what you get.
The moral of the story, have fun with it.
Have fun with it. 100%.
Shadowcast, I definitely want to try it, just waiting for my local store to pick it up. Nice. May, it's coming. The first wave, chat.
Yeah, and a really good amount of retailers have it on pre-order, so.
And if they haven't, make sure you go to your store and have them call us. If you are wanting your store to be a part of our ecosystem, hit them up. One of our sales guys will totally get you set up. So
It's quick, it's painless.
Yep. And
they order direct
they
from
make
us,
money.
They get the best deal possible.
Yeah, it's good for them. It's great for everybody. Great for them. So go hit them up.
It turns out we'll make you more money than any other paint line if you're a retailer.
Okay, shorties, my store doesn't want to stock it, but their sister store 2 hours away is. Time to move, I guess. Okay, shorties.
We still suffer a little bit because we refuse to sign on stores if we can't properly produce paint. Meaning that, you know, I won't sell you the paint if I can't guarantee that 90+% of your restock orders can be filled.
Right.
And there have been plenty of times in our history where we were unable to meet that requirement. And so we would have people that would contact us saying, hey, I want to carry your stuff. And I'd be like, hey, I got to put you on a waiting list. And they hated that. They hated being told no. They couldn't understand why we were saying no. And it was hard to do. You know, it was very hard to tell stores that. So we still have some residual from that. Some stores are like, nope, they turned me down when I wanted them, so I'm not buying it from them. You go tell them that being bullheaded is not the way to do it. We never turn down people because we don't like, well, we have turned down stores we don't like, but that's maybe one or two in the entire history of the company. No, it's generally because we can't realistically and in good faith tell you that we can set you up, because usually within the first 2 weeks the store will sell out completely, place a restock order, and if we're barely hanging on to being able to produce enough for the stores we have, then they'll be mad at us because they won't be able to get the restock, and that doesn't do anybody any good.
Mr. Blue, my store dropped another brand because they couldn't get consistent restocks.
Yep, that's why we wouldn't do that. I'm here to partner with good retailers that want to do good business, and I can't in good faith do good business if I can't restock your order. Doesn't help me to have shelves with no product on them.
Yep.
Certainly doesn't help the retailer to have shelves with no product on them,
because that takes up space.
Well, it's an investment that they could be putting product there that actually sells.
Yep.
We get it.
That's looking great.
I think on the red, I think I'm gonna go in with the red oxide tint again.
Okay.
Flesh tones work great, and red oxide tint is just fantastic for
on the red. You said,
yeah, for highlighting.
Yeah.
So I can do the red oxide tint into it. It's gonna give me more of a hot pink. So I got to be careful here because I don't want it to turn into hot pink and read too much like hot pink as a highlight. Think of how we do the Blood Angels, where it's like eclectic salmon.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
We're creating the expert acrylic version of eclectic salmon here.
Now that, Jason, is a little closer to that Dilly Bar Red, the one you just made. And now that makes sense. So we're all on the same page with that. That's great.
Tastes like chemicals.
It is chemicals.
I love how you said that, though. It tastes like chemicals.
Lumberjack, you should definitely go that direction. Then go plaid. Do it for we the people. He'll do it.
I won't.
He won't. I tried, Lumberjack. There you go. Still waiting.
He didn't try very hard, Lumberjack, so don't let him
I did.
get
What are you
away
talking
with
about?
that. Don't let him get away with that.
Jason, I have said that so many times over the course of this last year and
You
a
said
half.
what so many times?
The people requesting the plaid. I'll say the thing, then you'll say, I'm not doing it. And then I'm like, okay, I tried. I wonder if that dilly bar is still in that freezer any good.
I'm sure it is.
Okay, shorties, tastes like paint. Delicious. Pretty much. You want to know what the paint tastes like? Go have a dilly bar.
It literally was like the after effect of having sprayed lacquer all day long. Like there's that little taste at the back of your tongue for hours. That's not right. That's not supposed to be that way, I don't think.
Plum Crunchy. Hey, Jason, do artist acrylics that the label, the pigment codes and such also use made-up names for colors that are more than just single pigment? I'm trying to find a color in acrylics, but doesn't exist anywhere else. Only oils. What color?
What's the color?
Yeah, what color are you looking for, Plum Crunchy?
There are a lot of pigments that won't work in aqueous suspension, so I can't make everything in water-based acrylic that you'll find in oil.
Purple Matter?
That's a made-up name.
Madder? Matter? Purple?
Sounds made up, but in today's world, there's lots of people that have pigments that might just be what they call
That's
it.
a single pigment color, is what you're?
Don't know. Might be. Not anything I know.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's a Winsor Newton color.
Oh, they usually don't make up names, so.
This one? Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, weird. Don't know it.
That's made up.
That's made up nonsense.
Purple Mater, hardly know her. Mater is a root plant.
Oh, gotcha.
Shadowcast. Aren't we all root
I was
plants?
going to say, yeah, Winsor Newton doesn't really make up colors. It's usually the pigment.
Man. All right, so they got it from the root plant, Mater. Interesting. Looks like a mix of dark plum and magenta, says Paint Liquor. It looks like something. Looks like purple Mater. If it's single pigment, that's the color.
Could very well be a pigment that doesn't work well in water base. There's a lot of those, so.
Still waiting for Winsor Newton to come out with Wizard's Butt. Wouldn't that be a wild collab? We're not going to make them, but Winsor Newton will make this beautiful Wizard's Butt color.
I don't
Be a
think
fine.
I ain't trying to license my stuff to freaking Winsor Newton.
Yeah, they're coming after this Dilly Bar Red for sure, though. This new color you just made in front of all of us. Wizard's Butt 2.0. Two butts.
Double butt.
Double butt. K Shorty says, I will say I do enjoy having normal color names for paints as opposed to should I mix Orc Cronies Brown with Fire Dragon's Blood Clot. Well, now you understand.
Now you get it.
Can you pass me the
Chonies Brown?
the Necromalusi's purse color or whatever?
Necromalusi's purse? Who the hell is Necromalusi?
Hey, it's Necromalusi. Hey, he's my cousin. That's actually a yellow color, believe it or not. See? Who would know? What's the color of a fire dragon's blood clot? I don't know. Hopefully he's seeing his doctor about it. Tony's brown. Hey, don't you talk about Tony that way. Jarls Tony, you don't want to know where I got that brown from. All right. That's silly. I got to stop reading your guys' comments. That's the key. Because everybody's like, give me your silliest.
You
paint
literally
name.
just opened yourself up for Tim and Mo, by the way.
No, I won't. Tim and Mo, they're good guys. They're good people. They wouldn't abuse the system that way.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Oh, no.
Tim, Mo, wait for the whites of his eyes.
Tim is out there writing a paragraph right now. It's around the same halfling afternoon tea. All right. That can't be real. Too many crazy names out there. We give you the color names. For example, we're just trying to keep him accountable. That's right, Lumberjack. That's good. Yes, yes, yes.
He asks for it all the time, but then when you do it, he's like,
then you're
maybe
banned.
you should be banned.
Waiting for Painty McPaintface paint. Okay. Ghost Hunter. It is if you believe. You can't just say that, Shorties. That doesn't typically work for me. If I believe it, it'll happen. Tell that to my bank account. Chaos Angel, closer to second breakfast tea. Okay. We use colors in our names for our paint. And that is final. Except for Dark Sea Ben. We gave Ben that one. But still, that still is technically, you can kind of understand what the color is, even by, it's just Ben, right? Dark Sea Ben. We get it. But it also has the flavor text on there too, which is the color. Panic Bomb. Speaking of accountability, when is Chris paint again? Never. That's it. That was a one and done deal. I hope you caught that live because it was history in the making.
Oh, it'll happen again.
Oh, it'll happen again. That's what Jason said. I don't know about that. We'll have to think of another subject. I like the idea of OSL. That could be fun. Wet blending or blending is what we really should do. That one, when you did that that blending bit on the Witch Wing, I had Ryan clip that, and he's working on that, right? And I'm like, oh, this is what I need to do.
On the Witch Wing?
Yeah, you did it. Like a month ago or so. You did a brown to yellow blend on one of the Witch Wings on the crone.
Interesting.
On her demon wing. Do you not remember that?
No.
What? You don't remember?
I don't.
It's all a blur. But you did one, and it's like, oh, okay. I need to work on blending. Okay, Shorters, please do one on blending and glazing. Glazing for me, that'd be tough. That blending and glazing. Surprisingly enough, one of the largest searched things for our hobby is glazing and blending. Because everybody's wanting to know how to glaze and blend.
The good thing is I teach you from 2 to 4 p.m.
Every single day.
Every single week. I wish I wish more people would stop treating them like they are finite, mutually exclusive things and really just start paying attention to the fact that you're going to use all of these things and probably already do without even really realizing it.
Yeah. It's just people get stuck in the nomenclature
they
or the
get
name.
Stuck in the name. Yeah. They get stuck in my friend told me if I'm not glazing, I'm not doing it right. I'm like, well, you are probably. It's
what
like when I do that
glazing?
Just Do This video.
Yeah.
That Just Do This video was kind of all of that in one. It was all of the techniques you'll use to accomplish these things.
Yeah.
But really just talking in terms of, okay, put the first coat of any color you use, put that on fairly thin, And then the second coat, put it on not quite as thin. Trying to talk in practical terms instead of calling one of them glazing.
Yeah.
This final punch of color tends to be the one that gives us the most
volume
contrast and brings the volumes back in, right? Because if I just go in right here very briefly with that brightness, it makes that little spot where I put that brightness come out forward towards his nose, right? At the same depth of his nose, and it pushes all of this line here back underneath the hat, and then this out towards the face, or out towards the front, I guess. And I probably want to extend that down just a little bit and brighten it up right in here. The brightest spot is the one that will come the furthest forward in the scene, and then from there it goes back into shadow.
Yeah.
And it makes it feel like it has an S curve here, like this comes out and then slopes back, and then this pops back out. When where you look at it, it doesn't do that, really.
Right.
It's more straight. But this makes it to where I can define some volume that matches better what I've done on this side. This side the same way. It looks like this kind of punches out and then goes back in and then comes back out. It doesn't really do that. It does a little bit, but not as much. And this just kind of matches it on the other side. So you can make fake things happen that still look good.
Malev says, whoever painted this is good at painting.
Why, thank you, Malev.
He's
my man.
He's pretty good. Pretty good. Right, Jason?
If you're into that sort of thing.
Oh, we're into it. Everybody here is also into... Great segue, Jason. Right here. Expert Artist Acrylic Series 2 has launched today alongside the next 3 Texture Trainer Frameables. Whiplash, Willy, Sidewinder Slim, and Rufus. Weird West Villains also came out today. Big day for us. We're bringing Mondays back as Monument Hobbies.
Hey-o.
Are you sick of Mondays? Yeah. Hey.
You're just sick of this Monday, Gabe.
Monument Hobbies has a plan.
I think Gabe's sick of this Monday for sure.
This Monday was an interesting Monday because you know what? We all had fire in our bellies and we released a beautiful thing to the world. Because we're bringing
also
Mondays
instituting
back.
A whole new fulfillment system.
No, we don't talk about that. That's business. But yes, that's also something we did today.
Gabe and Jose had a lot more going on today than just the release of the products. And then it was oh yeah, by the way, we're releasing new products today too, guys.
That's right. We did a lot today. That's business though.
Right,
Gabe's looking over here like I shot him in the face.
Better values on the red now.
But hey, those links will take you right to those new launched things. And thanks to our new fulfillment system that Jose and Gabe have been fervently, whatever word I'm trying to say right there, accomplishing for all of you, our beautiful customers. I don't know where I'm going with that. Thanks, Gabe. Thanks, Jose. Shout out to Jose and Gabe. They are okay.
No free pub.
You're right. What the heck am I doing?
What the heck are you doing?
Oh. That's what we pay them for. Right, chat? That's what you were going to say, weren't you, chat? Do your job, Chris. Who? Sorry, that's you, Lumberjack. I knew you were going to say that. No free puff. What was the flesh tone used on the highlight?
Red oxide tint mixed with white.
Jose and Jabe. Yep. That's them.
Red oxide tint, white. The only colors that I used here were Pyro Red, red oxide tint, and then white. And white only at the very end there. So it was the Pyro Red with the red oxide tint to do the mid-tone and the first highlight. And then the final highlight was done by putting a little bit of white into just red oxide tint, no Pyro Red. So that moved away from the pinkishness and into that flesh tone, that bright flesh tone. So I don't wind up with something that feels too pink at the end. It has a little bit of pinkishness what I like on the cloth, but not too much.
Yeah, Mouth McCoy, are these texture trainers a series as they're more, or are there more of these from the same artist? These were designed.
Yep. They're a series by Adrian Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with Adrian. I was able to work with Adrian Smith. He's great. To create the Weird West Villains. I wanted a Western vibe
Yep.
And so he created these 3 villains that are really awesome. They are obviously Whiplash Willy,
yep,
with his side shooters, his pea shooters. Sidewinder Slim, who is a cockroach selling you guns and snake oil and watches out of his jacket. So he's really rad. And then Rufus. And Rufus is the muscle of the gang. He carries the lockbox and a bat. And he's a big automaton ogre orc with an underbite. So he's really rad too.
They're super cool.
He's got a lot of metal, so a lot of chance to use metallics or non-metallic on him because he's just a big automaton.
But yeah, go check that link out. They are live on our sites.
That's the 3.
And they're both, if you're in the EU, they're also live on the EU website as well. And same with the Expert Acrylics.
Along with the Expert Acrylics.
And you
Launching
can check it
on
out.
the same day in the EU? What?
There you go.
Impossible.
Is it snake oil or roach oil? Gross.
Yes.
But now it is roach oil.
I hate the idea of that.
Roach oil sounds like a fun name for like a chili oil that we're going to make up.
I hate that.
I'm going to make that up.
It sounds
roach oil.
Horrible.
I've been really into making my own sauces lately, Jason.
It sounds horrible.
I might make that roach oil.
All right.
Okay. All right. All right.
Okay. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Whatever.
100% farm grown, free roach oil. Make some ant salad. My Aunt Salad. She's a great gal.
Aunt Salad. All right, I gotta do
the Ghost Hunter. Those other Frameables need a dry brush. I know it's harder to see because I typically Zenithal the examples. I might have to do that for us, Jason.
What's that?
Get some Zenithal examples of the Frameables like I did the first ones.
Yeah, they're hard to see with just the white.
Chris, we should trade sauces at the end of the season. Hey, Lumberjack, I'll keep you to it. Would you like some wasp wings with that roach oil? I would like to think, hear me out, right? That Sidewinder Slim is actually the size of a real roach, and he's just a little guy who like comes up to you and like takes his little jacket out.
He's like the dude in Men in Black.
Yeah. Oh,
the cockroach guy in Men in Black, I think, is definitely the inspiration for Sidewinder Slim.
Lumberjack, I do like hot sauce. I'm into it. I'm not into the joke kind of hot sauce, like the gimmicky hot sauces where it's like, hey, this one's really hot. I love hot sauce for the flavor, right? But not the like, oh, this one will like burn your butt off. And then it's got like a weird, like, you know, but I do like.
I don't want it to burn my butt off, Chet.
I do like spice.
As long as it leaves me with my butt fully intact, I'm down.
Habanero peppers are delicious.
Yep, habanero is as spicy as you need in the world. It still maintains a lot of flavor.
My capsaicin levels aren't as I like them for flavor taste, not for crazy out of this world hot. But I do like hot sauce.
I oopsed.
You oopsed?
Yeah, I oopsed. I put a little bit too much there. I got up into my metallic.
That's okay.
I'll fix it. But I'm not happy.
I'll definitely try them though, Lumberjack. I 100% would.
The ones he makes?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
He sent some once, didn't he?
I think you did.
The yellow stuff.
Yeah, I would definitely try it.
It was very tasty. I need some Mexican food. Like stat.
Doomsday Sprocket. I just got here. We doing Korean barbecue chicken? Sure. Jason.
I need Mexican food.
Jason wants Mexican food. Are we getting tacos?
We could do Taco Monday, probably.
He wants to get tacos.
I have been in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, no. Oh, no. That's true.
Where everything is just like steak or chicken. And it was it got a little old by the end, not gonna lie. Went to a good steakhouse, got a good piece of meat, but every place was like steak, potatoes, mac and cheese. I was like, no, I'm kind of over it. Do they have Mexican food here? And everybody just looked at you like, what?
We're spoiled here in
what?
Arizona.
Yeah, I could just live on Mexican food. I'm not afraid to admit it.
No, it's Mexican. I could eat Mexican food pretty much every day.
Every day. Grew up on it.
Mine, you gotta be super hot to eat the ice cream after. That's true. Then we can go to Dairy Queen for some dilly bars.
I will kill you. Yeah, I don't think you guys really, I think your childhood memories are just toast. Because that's one of those where it's like, oh yeah, that wasn't as good as I remembered it. That couldn't be as good as you remembered it.
You know what? They were probably better back in the day.
You saying that they've shrinkflation? That's
not
the thing the kids are all
shrinkflation, just
saying
probably
now.
better ingredients.
Well, that's
probably.
what shrinkflation is, right?
It's shrinkflation, I guess so, yeah.
I think that's what
true.
that means. Is that they start skimping. They give you fewer chips in the chip bag.
They're
That's
definitely
shrinkflation.
got a nostalgia chemical for my brain. So good. They tasted better as kids. Whatever trash they put in them now doesn't taste good. Sugar Rush. Amen, brother.
Yeah, they were horrible. I start to doubt you people that say those are good. Including my partner, and that always hurts me when I have to doubt Jen.
Lumberjack said, yes, I did send you a few sauces. I think I remember they didn't last very long. They probably were delicious.
They were really good. Really very good. All right. I think on this one, what did I do? I added the yellow to it, but I think I'm going to do the guns a little bit different. I'm going to use the red oxide tint since I have it out here. Such a flexible color.
What do you mean different? You mean on the wood?
Yeah.
Oh, like
instead
as a
of the Nicolazzo yellow and doing them the same way I did everything else,
yeah.
I'm gonna do these a little bit different. I'm going to mix in the red oxide tint into the burnt umber.
The here's what I learned today. Here's my aha moment today for you, chat. Which this might sound silly, but I just wrote this down. Midtones are key. That was my aha moment. I don't know why that
all of your
that
visual
clicked for
color, all of the recognizable color, I think is the way we like to say that.
Yeah.
All of the recognizable color on the model exists in the midtones, or the bulk, not all, but the bulk of recognizable color on your model exists in the midtones.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that you leave enough of that visible on the model to be the color you want. Because when people tell me, "Oh, I put too much of my highlight on," somebody mentioned earlier, and I feel like I lost all of my
midtone
and my contrast, is because of that. Is because it starts looking either too bright or not bright enough. And that will cause you all of those problems. Yeah. So it's that balance, and that's what we talk about. Like I mentioned, you just discovered the 100% hardest part of painting, which is keeping that value balance so that you can create volumes and still read your color the way you want to. Yeah. Because you can highlight red to the point to where it looks orange, and that's not the red you wanted. You can highlight any color past it looking the way you wanted it to. And usually it looks great, and then it doesn't look great. And that's where you get really frustrated, because you're like, well, that happened so late. I've already done so much work, and now my blue doesn't look as good because I put this highlight on there, and what do I do? Right, I'm doing this mix here as kind of my mid-tone mix, but I'm also, if you pop in close, I'm also doing grain. Yeah. I'm letting my brush strokes stay apart from one another so that they set the fundamental grain of the wood up.
Is this going to be metal in the back there too?
It has like a gold
thing
on the end of the grip.
A butt?
On the butt of the grip.
I think you can bash somebody's head with that.
You could, yes.
A pommel? Is that what it's called? No, that's
a sword.
That's on the sword. What's it called on one of these, I wonder?
It's the butt of the it's the butt of the stock when you have a rifle. This is just
look at them.
The
they have
grip.
faces on them too.
Yeah, there's faces on them.
I just realized that. Silly old Christopher. I've been looking at these things for the last month. Look at that. Stan, I had an aha moment today watching Vince's latest video. Okay, cool. What was it, Stan? Sark says, "Hey, hobby nerds, I had a bit of painter's block and took a break, but now I'm back and I found my mojo. Nice.
Awesome.
Committed to putting paint on models at least an hour a day now. Nice.
That's a great plan. Welcome back.
Sark, I'm glad
Love
to
to
hear
hear it.
that. I have found when I get painter's block, I switch to an immediate another project that I don't care about as much.
That's a great way to do it.
And
Something
that way,
you can just play with.
Yep.
You don't have to be as invested in it, because painter's block will sometimes come because you've been thinking so hard about one thing so long,
Yep.
and that becomes a problem, right?
100%. But we're glad to have you back.
You're focused so much on, oh my God, the color, oh my God, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, yeah, whatever. Just switch over to a model that, keeping a test model, that's what the texture trainers are so great for.
Yep.
They allow you to play around with color and just say, I just want to paint this axe today and see if I can make something really cool happen with this armor or this.
Yeah, I keep one of the Frameables nearby to do tests on. They're actually great because I also will use the plastic, the resin surface, the flat surface to do little tests on plastic too. Danger Boy says the Frameables have been really nice for that. Always a fun project. Ready? Yep. That link will take you to all of our miniatures, the monument miniatures, where you'll find all the Frameables and all the texture trainers on there.
I'm proud of the models we make. I really love the Frameables.
They're very unique. And if you guys are like, what am I going to frame? I would tell you to go to a Goodwill or a thrift store, and you could find so many 4x6 frames, it's not even funny. And paint the frames.
Yeah, for super
Pigment
cheap.
did an amazing one for the MAA.
He did like resin and custom tentacles, and Sinjin went out of his way and did some really fun stuff.
Shout out to him. Pigment, you did a great job. Super cool.
He's aight.
I've gotten to a place where my paint palette has been so filled with paint that I gotta wash it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I got a big I was pulling the Jason because I thought there was some magic to it, but now I have to clean my paint palette.
I love that you thought. I love that you thought that because I don't really rinse out my water cup very often, that must be the same with my palette.
100%. I'm like, okay, there's got to be something, because I don't know if you're like keeping track of your colors. Like, no, this is just dirty palette. Why, God? I based everything around this.
There's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just laziness. Sometimes it's just laziness, Chris.
But not project neutral. That's intentional. Project neutral. You know what that is, Gabe? Jason's cup with his water, that's project neutral. Why is that, Jason?
It's easier to show it, but the paint water in your cup, if you change it out by project, means that you've got all of the constituent colors of your project in that paint water, and it forms a gray mud color that is your project neutral. It's the one color you can use that will work with every color you paint on the model. It sounds silly, but it is the truth. There's no joke. It's not pulling the wool.
Now, I have, out of naivety, have cleaned out project neutral every once in a while.
It doesn't matter. It's not like you have to have it. It doesn't make it to where the be all end all. It just means that I'm never worried about having dirty water in my paint cup, so long as the colors that are in that dirty water are the colors that I'm using in the project at hand.
You want to know what's silly, Jason? Because it's funny you mentioned that. I never clean out my paint water at home, ever. I just started to. Like I just keep adding to it. right? So my project neutral has been very neutral for a long
it
time.
can get to where it has colors in it that you're not using on your model.
Yes.
And I don't know that it's ever super intrusive, but it can be.
I
You
think
know,
mine
dirty
has been
water
lazy.
gets added to the colors you're painting with and can alter those colors. So you got to be careful. But if it's filled with all the colors that you're currently painting with, then that muddy neutral is actually a good color to use. And you know, you don't get as much effect of it out of the paint water cup as you would if you were to mix all of the colors you were using to form a neutral. But it has the same type of thing. It's just not a detriment. Like some people think, dirty paint water bad. No, it can actually be good, or not good, but it doesn't have any negative effect on your painting at that point.
Mine might be. So I've been cleaning out my water more. What's up, Chuck?
It's the stuff that happens when you drink too much.
Drink too much.
Up, Chuck.
Up, Chuck. What's up, Chuck? Metallics, yes. There's a lot of metallic flakes in my paint water. It's extra shiny. Yeah.
The New York hot dog vendor trying to explain dirty water for hot dogs? No, this is real. Let's just take let's just take the colors we have here. I don't know how many of them are still lively, but we can put them out. So bring the palette up. I'll show you. Right? So
this is more for Gabe than anything.
This is just a quick study of reaching what I would call a project neutral that allows you to have a really great mixing. I don't have any white. That's all gone. I'll waste some paint for you, chat. I'm probably out of the red oxide. I've been using the crap out of red oxide tint today.
It's a great color.
All 6 of these new ones are fantastic. The Phthalo Turquoise Light is fantastic. The Alizarin Crimson, the Aerolite Yellow Deep, which is like warm yellow. Yeah, all the colors that came out with these 6. I mean, the Expert acrylic line, there's not a single color you don't need. It could be argued that if you don't do CMYK mixing, that with the inclusion of the new single pigment magenta, you don't have to buy the primary magenta. But if you do CMYK mixing, you'll want the primary magenta because the single pigment won't work for you.
Yeah.
As well. Okay, let's get a big ugly brush. Big ugly brush. Okay, so I have all these colors, and one of the things that you can do is take, you know, a little bit of each of these colors, mix them together. I'm not as worried about what amounts I'm mixing them in. This is just this, technically the same little brush load of color of each of these that I've used today. Okay, they're all on this project. Okay, so there's your project neutral. That's everything that's been mixed in to this. Right. Now, why is this important? This color, as if I now take carbon black or a Payne's gray or a dioxazine violet, whatever. I'm just going to use black and white to show you. Right? This color is now a guaranteed win for you while painting, because you can take this color and mix it with any of these. If I grab a little bit of my brown here and I take some of this, this will tint, tone, and shade this perfectly, right? If I take my Pyrrole Red, which I need, oh no, I might have enough of it here. Nope. If I take Pyrrole Red, make sure I'm not having my brush be too dirty. But if I take Pyrrole Red down here and I want to bring this in and mix it with Pyrrole Red, that's going to give me a really good tone on Pyrrole Red. Now if I take white and mix it into that neutral, I get a really good highlight for that red. And then if I take black and mix it in with that neutral, I get a good chromatic black for the whole project that can be taken to mix in with the reds and give me a really good darker red. It doesn't desaturate as much as the pure black because I've mixed it with this neutral that's all these colors, right? So it is a true way to use color. I mean, it's going to dry up on me. I'm not going to be able to use it a whole lot, but if I take it over here and I mix it with my white, I get that kind of earthy tone, right?
Yeah.
That earthy tone can be used with, say, the green over here. to get a really nice desaturated version of that green. Right?
Yeah.
So this neutral color that is all of your colors mixed into one will give you a mud. Sometimes this one, because we have so many yellows and reds, it'll stay brown. In a lot of cases when you're doing things, because you'll have maybe some blues and some grays, it'll start to be more of a grayish color for most of what you do. Our color palette here has led me to a brown neutral, and that brown can mix with all of these to extend them to give you a good, usually it'll be a tone like gray, so when you mix it with a color, it'll just maybe darken it a little bit, but give you that mid-tone shadow for it, and then you add in your darker black or white to make it brighter or darker, and then add it in. So you start finding a way that if you're painting with fewer colors, like if you're painting CMYK, that mix of all of them, then with black and white gives you your chromatic black and your tint, tone, and shade that you then add into all of your colors to get shadows and highlights of them that makes your palette extend quite far.
Well, and look at this.
As opposed to being worried about making a dark yellow. I don't need the dark yellow. I can take this neutral color that is the slop, add a little bit of black to it, get this color, and add that to my yellow to make my shadow, and it'll work perfectly. But I can also add that same color to my red, to my flesh, to my green, and have the same effect.
Well, and look,
that's exactly what my project neutral for this is, because we started with clear water. So that's exactly what we're trying to show, right? Is that look at the color we came up with, and look at the color in here, and now you know that you're using this color a little bit on your brush all the time when you go to add to colors and paint with it, and it doesn't have a huge effect here. I'm not going to lie to you and say that, oh my gosh, it's like all of my colors go together seamlessly now. But it can make the difference between your really tight blends looking good and not, because if every color has that little bit of hue shift in it, now the whole model starts to fit a little bit better. So it's a highly artistic way of thinking about paint that does technically work better when working on canvas in larger areas, but also has no, the real takeaway here is that your dirty paint water has no ill effect on your painting, so long as the dirty paint water is based on all the colors you're currently using and not from last project. If I were to start painting something with blues and not be using any of these colors and have the same dirty paint water, now it might add a muddy color to my blue that I'm not happy with, so that could be a problem. But
wow. Project neutral. Explained. That's great. That's a great bit.
Yeah, and it's so simple, right? A lot of people don't understand that by mixing all of the colors on your palette into one ugly color and then using black and white to darken and lighten that color, now you just have your chromatics that you can add to any of those colors to darken and lighten those colors and get a very consistent approach across the whole model. A lot of fun. We never do it because our acrylic dries too fast, but
but that was the perfect way of explaining that, because it's just the best way to describe that water, because like when I say that, I'm like, oh, it's project neutral.
Yeah.
I understood obviously what you were talking about, but now I understand.
Yeah.
You know, understand who's Stan, who is behind that curtain. We all learned
it's
something
the guy.
Today. It's project neutral. That is definitely a superhero name. Here comes Project Neutral. That's all I have for you guys today.
You get one of those.
I get one of those. Doghouse says, so you're saying my laziness is helping me be a better artist.
I'm going to give you that. I'm going to give you that. You can walk out of here today with that one for free as ammo against any naysayers. You can say, well, there's a guy on the internet that says I'm doing a pretty good job by not cleaning my cup.
That clip is don't clean your paint water. For sure. The magic of Project Neutral.
Well, yeah, and like I said, I'm not trying to sell you snake oil.
It
just is not that. Don't rely on it doing anything good for you, because you have to be active in the use of it for it to really do good things. Just focus more on the fact that it's not doing bad things for you, right? That having your dirty paint water is not bad so long as that paint water is dirty with the paints you're using. It doesn't affect anything negatively.
Kingtone says, can an empty Pro-Acryl bottle be repurposed for enamel paint without leakage?
Ooh, I do not know if our
Could you buy a
HDPE
bottle?
is typically not good for heavy solvents, so I would say no. It's not the kind you usually want to put those in like glass or I forget. I don't remember the plastics that work good with those lacquer and enamel solvents. So check online.
Sark. Jason, what the heck are these paint names? You said you wouldn't have silly names. Those are the pigment names, Sark.
Alizarin Crimson. Alizarin is my favorite vampire from the novel with the sex. That's the name of the pigment.
Jordan pronounced the
Alizarin was the father vampire
Quidon
from the Dracori faction.
It's Quidon.
It's Queen of Quidon. Yeah, these are all the actual pigment names. So Queen of Quidon, Chrome Oxide Green,
What it's called?
Payne's Gray. All those are what you would find in the art world for those.
I just like saying Quidon.
It sounds Creole. Like it's coming from Louisiana. Onion, pepper.
Quidon, magenta. I don't know. Oh yeah, I just work here. That's right. He's getting into it. When Jason puts his hat backwards, he's like, "All right, now it's time to start painting."
I had already put it backwards, didn't I? I just took it off and put it back on.
No, you've had it front this whole time.
Did I?
Yeah. It was an interesting choice.
Oh,
that's all right. Hey, I
had it on backwards, and then I just lifted it up and scratched my head.
We were so wrapped into Project Neutral that we didn't even know. I'm not even kidding. That was a great explanation.
Yes.
It's a great one. I'm over here being silly about Project Neutral, and it's like Jason's like, "Well, here's Project Neutral for you, kiddo." Like, damn it!
Where are the cheater colors, Chris?
Oh, they're you put them on that black shelf.
Had them all here.
Your black shelf? See them in the bag? Put them back in the bag.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna cheat.
Why are you cheating?
Well, because I need to cheat. It makes me feel good about myself when I can do things that other people can't do.
I don't know what he's talking about, chat. But whatever comes on to... I don't know.
Not. Maybe I thought I had something I don't have. Oh, no, I do. Don't I? No, maybe I don't.
You have two other ones right behind that water bottle of yours.
That's the one. Aha! Yes.
Actually, it was very hidden. What is that, Jason, you silly...
It's cheater OneStep colors. It's OneStep Series 2.
You guys, we can't get one. We can't get...
Black-brown.
We can't get set 1 out fast enough. Now we're on to 2.
He's already using set 2.
Can we hold on for like a minute?
He's already using set 2. No. I'm doing what I want to do.
No. That's all right.
I said I would paint this whole model with nothing but OneStep and expert acrylic.
How about OneStep that comes out late May? It's set 1.
That's harder to...
No.
I didn't use that as part of my cell. I didn't.
I see.
I'm not lying. I didn't say that I would only use OneStep colors that you'll be able to buy soon. Take the black brown, give it a little spritz of water.
Can you show us this mix?
Little spritz.
He could use special sauce. Now, if you all missed Jordan last week, he crushed that Queen, yes. And I made my decision about StarCraft, the tabletop miniatures game.
Uh-oh, what's your decision, Chris?
When they come out with Abathur, I will play that game.
What is Abathur?
He is one of the heroes for Zerg.
Oh.
He's kind of like a commander, of in the back.
The bugs have heroes?
They do, yeah. Like Kerrigan.
Interesting.
Right? So once Abathur comes out, I will play Abathur. Because I'm very curious on the mechanics of how they'll actually make that work and make it efficient. That's the only reason. Because if he's not in the back, it's kind of like the crap that I give Dallas when he comes on stream for Jabba, right? You know, like Jabba's palace.
Zoom in close.
Yeah. Oh. You like how
it's a really nice undertone. You can see the length of the barrel here.
Yeah.
I put it on there. I'm just doing it over here now.
Yeah, but I think Abathur would be cool. But Jordan did a bunch of OneStep usage on the Queen for StarCraft. So if you're interested, go check out those last 2 streams because he did an amazing work up on that. But he doesn't get free pub, so.
Poor Jordan. He works so hard.
Does he? He does on his models. He does crush it. The problem with Jordan is that when he gets on here, we all are like,
slow down, big fella.
oh, man. No, shout out to Jordan. Jordan has an ability to make you want to paint a lot. Because when we're like, oh, wow, if Jordan can do it in this amount of time, I can surely do it in this amount of time. Sometimes that doesn't work that way, chat.
Yeah, a lot of times it doesn't work that way. Sad.
Better off, Ted. Have you experimented with black lining something you've painted on stream with a before and after just to see what it might look like?
No. Most of the time, because I paint dark to light, I don't need black lining, right? Like, I don't need any black lining on something like this. My style, painting from dark to light, leaves all of my shadows where they need to be. And anytime I've mismatched my shadow to where it doesn't, get the contrast that I'm wanting, then I'll just come back and add in a little bit of shadow on top specifically. I don't really blackline or panel line anything. I can remember when I first started painting Space Marine eons ago that I would leave the black primer showing between the armor panels to give it a really bigger boost of contrast. But I never really went back and painted the black lines, except for like around the knees where it was really hard to keep them there. But there's a world where you can paint that way and leave the dark primer showing in thin lines to be the black between armor panels, and that works really well. It's just more tedious because it doesn't allow you the kind of sloppiness to base coat. I like to be a sloppy base coat painter. That way I can just smack paint around and then fix it as I go. And that's why I start dark. My base coats are really dark, and I'm not trying to put yellow over black or any of those bad tactical decisions.
Yeah.
Stan that worked really well. That worked great for those gun handles. That's like instant wood. Pop in super close again.
Focus here. There it is.
You can see my wood grain barely poking through there.
And you can get that color at some point.
Well, you can mix OneStep medium with black brown, and that's what it is pretty much. This is a little bit of a different color. It's an ash brown, but it's very, very similar.
Yes.
And that was thin, like probably 50-50 with water. But now I get my really slight wood grain coming through there, but it blends it to where it makes it look really natural and like almost polished.
Yeah, they Jordan did a great use case of that. He was showing the OneStep with the special sauce, but then with using special sauce with the color equivalent, so that came out pretty good. I think it was with dark green brown.
That's free-handed wood. It's smooth.
Free-handed wood.
I don't
know about that.
The grain is all done freehand. Wad, take it easy.
Yes. Frank, Jordan did that on the egg sacks.
Yeah, the secret sauce with 4S, and it'll work with anything. So glad he showed you that. That's a nice one. Very nice.
Dan says, I know you said don't do it. Okay.
Don't do it.
But I did.
Don't.
OneStep Crimson.
You're already over.
Mixed very nicely with Noosh. And it's like an acrylic pin wash. Haven't tried any others yet.
Okay.
Very interesting.
It's not that it won't work. Like I said, it just doesn't give you anything any other color would, because they're going to fight each other on the way the mediums work. So for using that color with Noosh and you want that color, then great. I just wouldn't expect them to become anything, super rad. You may find something, and like you said, let us know. Like, oh my God, it just did this thing. Maybe there's some magic there that we didn't think of. I'm always happy to hear that people have tried and experimented and come up with fun things. Already people are using OneStep as pin washes.
Yes.
When you thin them down, because they give you so much pigment, and they will flow along those recesses in armor, between armor panels and such really well. So that's really cool. I'm glad people are finding that that's making that easier with an acrylic and not having to jump out to a enamel or an oil. Just speeds your process up a lot when you don't have to go to another solvent.
Ace, great one. Maybe that medallion thing on his thigh would look good in turquoise. Maybe a new expert artist acrylic turquoise.
Oh, it could. Yeah. It's like it could be like a stone. It has the
It is that
doodanglies hanging off of it.
I
But
thought
yeah, I
it
think
was
it could be a cool turquoise, like a turquoise,
At first, I thought it was a purity seal of some
like
kind.
Native American stone that's been carved.
Like a bolo tie kind of a deal. Is that what they're called?
If it was on his neck, yes. Bolo ties don't go on your thigh.
Oh,
I'm just going to throw that out there.
Wait a second. You guys don't put your bolo ties on your thighs?
We need to have a class,
Do you
an
hear that?
intervention.
Bolo ties on your thighs?
Anyone? Anyone?
You guys don't wear girders every day?
You wear a garter, Chris?
Hey, boys! I don't know. Whatever you want.
Whatever we want?
Whatever you guys want. It's for the chat. It's for the people.
Oh, my God.
Turquoise is a great idea, though, for that.
It is. Fantastic.
Hey, Ace, great segue. If you are not familiar with what happened today, the Expert Series acrylic paints, series number 2, I landed that plane. There you go. Those are live, along with the Weird West villains. Right here. We launched those today. You can get the thing that Jason is painting right now with the paints that he's using right now. Surprise, surprise. I put link. You have the thing. There you go. Those launched today, if you are not familiar. And if you haven't seen those colors, that chrome oxide green, I'm
using it to base my non-metallic gold right now.
I'm getting very
It's
excited.
such a good color.
I'm very excited about which tree leaf I'm going to paint with that chrome oxide green.
Which tree leaf? Like
Just
singular?
one leaf.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay.
They don't go on your thigh, but Willy can wear. See, that's what I'm saying, Gilborn. In my fantasy, bolo ties are worn on your thighs.
Hey, whoa. We don't kink shame, but let's just keep that to yourself, all right?
We can't get that brown that he used. Ghost Hunter, ignore that one brown that he just used, though. So I take that part back, but I did my job.
Oh, don't ignore it. I want it to keep you up at night.
No, I did my
I want you to
thing.
lie awake tonight thinking I nearly got everything except
Almost.
that bastard used. Oh, I also used True Black OneStep
No,
that isn't available.
I tried to ignore that.
You were trying to gloss over that one?
He he did a really cool carbon black glaze. No,
I did that with
he used a
True
fancy,
Black OneStep.
He used a
Also
fancy
not available
one.
in Series 1. I got to be
Series
able to have
2.
some fun with you, chat.
You said Series 2 might be coming out around
June,
Gen Con.
July?
Gen Con is in August.
He wants it in Gen Con. I might do Series 2 before then. I don't know. I'm very excited about all this stuff. The more excited everybody else gets, the more excited I get.
Let's
the more
go.
I want to have everybody have all the colors I have.
Taking the world by storm. If you thought set 1 was cool, and that's not even out yet, but you've also have seen these colors the last several months. If you are not aware, we will be announcing those dates coming soon, but late May is what we've been saying. And we're going to stick to it, right, Jason?
Oh, yeah.
That's not me calling out Jason. That's just me engaging with
I've
Jason.
been saying mid to late May.
Yeah, so get ready. It's coming. Who
Production's
knows?
already got quite a bit. We don't have singles. We have sets, so we already have quite a bit lined out. We just aren't ready with all the singles. And we won't release to the general public until we're ready to fulfill stores for a pre-release, because we really like our retail partners to be able to take advantage of the launch with us.
Yep. But over this next month, Jason and I have been making some really cool tutorial how to use XYZ when it comes to Pro Crow OneStep. So those are going to be starting to come out very soon.
So I want to describe Chris and mine's relationship for you.
Yeah.
When it comes to his involvement with doing these types of things.
Yes.
Chris says, okay, camera's running. I nail it in one take. And then Chris reaps all the reward.
I edit those takes.
He gets to be the one that says, I did this.
No, that's not true. I put the mirror up. I just know how to put the right mirror up. That's all I do. I don't have to do the other part, which is the most important
I was
part.
pretty surprised with the one-step ones. We nailed it.
I was
He asked the right
I was actually going to
questions.
tell you literally right after this. I'm like, this is really good. It was. We are lucky that Jason can do this, and that I don't have to sit with some rando and do this for 1,000 takes like I used to have to do.
We did pretty well. He does
Yeah.
have to. He does have to ride me sometimes, but the one-step videos
No.
came out really well.
It was great. And
I was,
those were
I was
three.
watching them back, and I go, "Wow,
That was just 3.
I didn't even stutter."
That was literally the first take on the one time I have more.
We painted this guy.
We did a lot. Oh, we got to paint that base.
We painted this guy.
Yeah. That looks great. Anyway, I did fix it in post, but not much fixing was needed.
Do I have a meeting?
Do you have a meeting?
I don't know. Do I?
No.
Okay. Just checking. My first day back, so I want to run a little longer if we can.
Yeah, you're
You okay
fine.
with that?
Yeah.
You okay with that, Chris?
Yeah.
Chris, you okay with that?
Oh, I'm checking. We don't have meetings.
Okay.
Let's see. Any upcoming regular acrylic paints coming out, says Belial.
We've been threatening expansion set 5 for like 2 years now. So eventually you will get expansion set 5.
Belial, give us a break, man. What else do you want from us?
This is the year of OneStep.
And Expert Acrylic Series
but
2.
we might sneak in expansion set 5 before the end of the year. We'll see.
Oh, we have other stuff coming, chat. Get ready. Can you make a Goblin Green clone, says Tadpole Jackson.
Yeah.
That's a great response. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, is that a yes?
Well, he asked me if I could make one.
Is it a yes, Jason?
Will I sell one? I don't know.
Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, we'll make you one.
You gotta ask better questions. I'm like the genie in the bottle that really ticks you off because you're like, you know what I want? I want this, and then you get it, and you're like, that's not what I meant at all.
Lumberjack is still #waiting, Jason.
I know. There's eclectic salmon. There's a whole bunch of really cool stuff in expansion set 5.
Can expansion set 5 be the one and only expansion set with silly names?
No.
Are you sure?
No.
Going once. Going twice.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay. Oh, you're not
See,
sure?
you gotta listen because I said,
Oh.
no, I'm not sure, and you didn't grab onto that real quick. You should have been paying attention.
Well, if it isn't, I see.
My nemesis, the Duke.
The Duke. We can do eclectic salmon. What else is a funny name that you come up with? There's another color that Goblin Green. What would we call our Goblin Green, Jason?
Goblin Green.
We could just snake it.
I mean,
Goblin Green. Boom. Done.
None of that's trademarkable.
Could you imagine just Pro Grill announces the new and improved Goblin Green? And then
It would be
2.
funny to do a whole
I'm
fantasy name set.
Yeah. I think so. Eclectic Salmon, Goblin Green, what else? I don't know what else is coming out in expansion set 5. Over the last 2 years you've been talking about it, you've probably named those colors though.
Probably.
Goblin Green 2.0.
Just Pyrrole Orange over the top of the green. Real simple. Just like I always say, do the first layer pretty thin so it lets more of the green show through. Nothing different about working with the expert acrylics than working with the normal line. It'll give you that muddy green underneath the brown or underneath the orange. It tends to want to look like you're painting with brown, And then you'll put more orange over the top, moving towards your highlights once that is on there.
Goblinish green. Boom. Lawsuit proof, says Belial. Okay, there you go. Goblinish? Awkward banana. Is that a color?
That was the first
Wizard's butt.
Wizard's butt,
I see.
which is one of Expansion Set 5's colors, by the way. There's a couple of Wizard's butt colors in there.
How about sexy, sexy win-win time blue?
That probably won't make it, but there are some really cool colors from the last couple of sets the last couple of launches of Wizard's Butt that I think will make their way into Expansion Set 5. Some good ones.
That Wizard's butt blue is like a hidden Alpha Legion color. It's really good for that. Terracotta, says Prisoner.
Terracotta is one of those that's hard to interpret what people mean.
Yeah, because I think a terracotta, it's like Arizona terracotta.
Yeah, it can be a tan, a red, a green.
Mine's very, very red in my mind, right? Like fresh terracotta.
Yeah, because and it doesn't preclude us from doing something that is called terracotta, but we did the same with khaki. It took me a long time to get the way I wanted because khaki is not a color that has a pure definition. It can be a lot of things to a lot of people. And I wanted it to be more yellowish green. I think we finally got what I was looking for. All right, there we go. That's just a really quick orange over the green.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going to take the Nicolazzo yellow because it is just too good in the world of needing like a yellowish ochre.
Yeah.
You know, something that's a really, really good ochre. It has a low opacity to it, so it's very easy to thin out and give yourself a base of yellow over another color. It's not going to be a pure yellow, but it's going to get you a lot of motion towards yellow over base coat like this orange. I'll thin it out, and then we're just going to glaze it right over the top of that. Let it get into the green areas. This is a very thin glaze. Hop in super close. So you can start seeing how versus the other oranges, it starts taking on that golden feel. And like all glazes, start with an easy, very low transparency coat so that you guarantee you see your colors through it. And then build up with the next layer if you want to see more of the color you're painting. So I want more yellow than this, but I'll wait until the next coat to bump that up. Because in some areas it may be perfect and you may not even recognize it as you're putting the glaze on. It may be that in some of the green shadows it's the perfect color that I'm getting out of it. And in other areas, not near enough. Like still too much orange showing through and things like that. But in the green recesses, which are kind of the shadows on this way that I painted it, the Nicolazzo may be giving me a really good yellowish tone to those that I don't need to hit again.
Doghouse,
Always
take it
better
easy.
to over thin and come back with more coats over the top than not thin enough and not be able to see what's underneath it. I say this all the time. It holds true every time you're painting with a filter.
Yeah.
Always over thin if you're thinning at all. Because you can always add another coat. You can't erase your coat if it's too thick. Okay, so that was one coat. Now we'll go back, and with much less water on the brush, much more paint, I will start to build up over my oranges. Maybe stay away from the green shadows more. Like I said, this Nicolazzo is super transparent, so I don't have to do a whole lot with it to be able to see right through it. But it makes this version of how I like to paint non-metallic gold when using oranges and greens a lot easier, because this stage is usually the hardest, where you're going back with something like yellow ochre or warm yellow and glazing it over the top. You can get way too much way too quick. That just gives me a really nice coloration that starts warming up the orange. Yeah. Where the next coat, when we do use warm yellow, or the aerolite yellow is what we'll be using, because we're only using the expert acrylics here. It'll have something really nice to sit over that already feels like a base for yellow.
I do have to use the restroom. I will be right back.
Christopher, have fun. Hope it all comes out okay. Now's the time you talk about him, chat. Get some X's in chat if you feel like Chris is just okay. You need to get Chris a stadium buddy. Is that where you? It's like a porta potty. Chris guy, he's just all right. What's the Y for? Chris is awesome. 4th favorite Monument Hobbies employee, says Gillenborn. Who's number 2 and 3? I'm not going to ask about 1, because I know. X if you're into that sort of thing. Exactly right. Prisoners, I think everyone's too hard on Chris. Of course. That's what he's here for. Hey, Chris, you won.
I won?
Yeah, but you weren't here, so we had to pick somebody else. Oh. Tadpole Jackson says Poppy is the number 1 Monument employee. Poppy hasn't ever even been hired. Cora has been hired. Oh. Somehow Poppy was told to be... I don't know why they X'd up in chat, Chris.
Why'd they X up in chat?
I don't know.
Gabe?
I don't know why they did that.
Gabe! Oh. I see. Chris, wash your hands. I did.
Gabe says, just from the other room, he's like, I'm not part of this.
Isn't this when you do a giveaway? No. I see what you're all trying to do. I don't know why you did. And I'll take it. I'll never rewind, chat. I'll never go back.
You always rewind.
I do. I have to. But pretty cool in just an okay way if you're still into that sort of thing. Yes, Sir Sheldon. That's great.
How you doing, Chris? That's a big sigh.
Just great.
Wow.
Just great.
What is it, Chris? Tell us. We're here for you.
Great.
We're here for you, Chris.
I'm doing great.
We're here for you. What's that?
That's
Oh. The cleaning lady's here. We only get this building cleaned once a month now that we're not in it. We got an offer on the building, chat. That's pretty exciting. I don't want to jinx it, but that's pretty exciting, actually. Trying to sell this one. Chris and I'll have to move the studio. And when I say Chris and I mean Chris.
But of course, when I say we, I mean you. That's from the Grinch.
Is it?
It is. That line.
Is that when he was talking to the little dog that he put the antlers on?
Talking to Max. And of course, when I say we, I mean you. Crazy what these who's just throw away. Yeah.
And then we start getting some yellow. It's starting to look a little yellow.
Jason with the royal we says, yeah. Is this going to be a dirty tarnish gold?
Yeah. Yeah, whenever I paint with green and orange underneath, that's what I'm going for. Something that's a little less. It'll still have some shine to it, but it'll be something that, has been in the palm of hands, like you can imagine a gold coin after a lot of passing between hands, that it gets a little grimy, a little less pure gold look, and a lot of hand oil and grime from the world around it. And so that's what we're going for here. That's what the oranges and the greens do for you when you play with them underneath golds. Bring in a little bit more earthy tones. Gold does not tarnish to green. It tarnishes to more black and gray. But we can play around, and nobody got to follow the rules. Ain't no rules for art. The only rule for art is you better be doing it.
There you go.
You heard me.
That's it.
You heard what I said.
Let me get you guys some links for all of you who don't know that today was a big day. First of all, where have you been? Second of all, make sure you're following our socials. Third of all, make sure you're signing up for our newsletter. Fourth of all,
there's a fourth?
Climb outside of that rock you've been living under.
And welcome.
And welcome, yes. Here, today, this very day, we released Expert Series Acrylics. Our Expert... oh my goodness.
He's good
Expert
at this.
Artist
Paid
Acrylic
professional, chat.
Series number 2. Released today alongside 3 Weird West villains. Texture Trainer Frameables, brand new, right there. Designed with Adrian Smith. He also did the Hate models, if you are familiar. Go check him out. It's all live today. And by live, I don't mean dead. I mean alive and well and purchasable.
It's
Kablam.
alive.
There you go.
Adrian killed it with these guys. They got a lot of personality.
Oh, look at this. Dallas, how are you doing?
Dallas? What?
I just put a set in my cart. I place an order soon. I'm placing an order soon.
I mean, you know a guy, Dallas. We could.
Dallas, yeah, what are you doing? Hit us up. You know a guy. He's right there. I heard that he might have been a tough loss for you at Adepticon.
Smoked him.
Oh! But we can help ice that wound with a beautiful set of expert
It was so
acrylics.
Star Wars. Like, the ending was so Star Wars. Vader really needs to go to class on how to stop people from getting the signal off planet. He's always like showing up right as the signal is. He's causing mass havoc, killing everybody, and he gets there right as the signal beep boops its way out into space. It's really sad.
Beep boops.
You start to feel for him. You really do.
Ronan says, any updates on the Go Bag Evos being available?
We've been saying that hopefully by the beginning of May, We had some at Adepticon that made it in time for the show, and we're hoping that we can follow that up with, some good word. But I don't have anything strong for you right this minute, so keep checking in.
Dallas says, me playing Vader is why I'm not allowed in dev.
Is why you're not allowed where?
In dev.
Oh. It was fun, though. So I'm going back over the top of that with a little bit of the primary yellow. I'm using the side of the brush and kind of allowing it to dry brush itself, although it's very wet, across the surfaces and pick up the high spots. So not using the tip of the brush, using the side face of the brush so that it gives a lot of contact when it does hit. And that way, it just hits the high spots. Does a lot of the work for you, rather than trying to pinpoint place the paint on here.
Dallas said it was a great game. Nice.
It was a ton of fun. We had a lot of really fun narrative things that we tried to make up as we went. Elle was my saving grace. I told her she was going to have to hold the fort down. I was just going to do silly crap. And I lived up to my end, and she lived up to her end of the bargain, and it was really good.
Jason looked so joyous, said Dallas. Oh.
What do you mean? When I was playing?
When you were playing?
Oh, we had a lot of fun. What do you mean?
He was winning. Of course he was having fun.
Oh, we were not winning.
Because that's what life is about, chat.
That game was
winning
not being
is the only
won
way to have fun
until they allowed us to win. I feel like they handed it to us.
Yeah.
That was not a win. When he came out and he was like, "Guess what Vader does?" And I go, "I don't know." And he goes, "Basically whatever he needs to." That was kind of the answer. What does Vader do? He does whatever I want him to do, whatever he needs to do at the moment. That's how this game plays.
Dallas
and I was like,
said, Elle did great. Jason was making it chaos. I would never. I don't know.
That's a lie.
I don't know about you, Dallas.
Yeah, exactly.
But hear me out.
Uh-oh.
Jabba's palace.
Here we go.
You got Jabba in the back, got the Sarlacc pit, Rancor, Just saying. Just dropping those seeds still.
He'll never quit.
It's a great idea.
He'll never quit, Dallas.
Maybe the next narrative, I don't know. Maybe we get Jabba involved. I don't know. I just work here. Every once in a while. Got those gold nuggets. I know. I'm glad you guys had a great game. Name the green pig men, Chris. They're Grudones? Grudones or something like that? We was literally just talking about this with somebody the other day. Nope. Oh.
No, they're not.
What are they called? I'm not. Gamorreans. There we go. Thank you, Wasted. Gamorreans. All right. Okay.
Because they had one miniature, the Gamorrean Guard.
I know. I'm just saying.
Not miniature. Action figures.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying. Get some Gamorreans out there. Get a big old Sarlacc pit. We'll make a purchase. No, I'm just having fun, I guess.
This freaking guy.
I like that. I like that little gold there. It's about to get shiny up in here.
Yep, we're about to hit it with the sheen shine. The shing shang shine. I need white. What? What? Little titanium never hurt anybody. Unless, of course, you snorted it. That's probably not good.
I wouldn't do that.
You shouldn't.
Or consume it in any way. We
You
have
should
to
not
say that
consume
for legal
the paint.
purposes. Do not do any of that.
Do not consume the paint, chat. Just don't do it. I'm going back to the Aerolide Yellow Deep, the warm yellow, as it were, and mixing in the titanium white with that color rather than the primary yellow, so that I move the highlight back towards the warm and away from the highlight that we did on the vest. Even though the vest is going to get striped, so it won't appear near as yellow as it does right now when we do the striping on it. Still want to move away from that coloring.
Monument sunscreen. I bet you if you had enough bold titanium white, you could probably make a good sunscreen out of it.
Wow.
Is it true? I mean, we'll block the sun with it. Right? I'm
Am I wrong?
I'm not wrong in this. I don't know. I'm thinking that. Titanium white is in mineral sunscreens. Interesting. Wasted. What SPF you're getting with that? I don't know, but if you don't have anything under 50 here and it just burns off here in Arizona, from what I've been told.
From what I've been
I haven't
told.
been checked the science on that, but if it's not 50 or above, you're basically not doing anything. Don't quote me on that.
So what he's not telling you is he owns stock in Johnson and Johnson.
Wow. I don't own stock. I own stock in you, chap. I said it. There you go. You are my investment. You like that, Jason?
I mean, that was good. That was very
It's the truth, man.
that was very kind of unity,
Yeah.
kumbaya drum circle
Yeah, man.
thing.
I'm invested in you. I'm looking you right in the eye. Mr. Pro Acrylic Liker, whatever, hobby nerds. I tried to say Pro Acrylite, but it did not come out that way. I had a small stroke in the middle of that sentence.
It didn't really work for you there, buddy. Ow.
Joshua Lee, Chris, you get to paint a night on stream someday? My nights are almost done, Joshua Lee. It's a lot of airbrushing I got to do left. A lot of dry brushing. No. The answer is no. I do that in my cave, far away from the people.
Why are you so antisocial, Chris?
I'm very social. Not when I paint, though. Get away from me.
Okay. I don't know what to do for it, Chet. I try.
You try. We won't do it. Pro Acrylite, praise be the pigments. Ghost Hunter, that's not allowed to be that silly. Paint time is social time. See current chat. You know what? Dallas, you're right. Paint time is social time. We're doing it right now. I'm being social with you all right now. On my own free will. I also get paid to do this.
Yeah, he's paid to do it.
I pay my membership dues every month to Monument Hobbies to do this.
Yeah, so the truth has to come out there. You know, you can't lead the people. You can't leave them to believe that you do this out of your own free will. There is no free will. There's only Monument and commands.
There's only Monument.
So speaking of free will, has anybody who out there has watched the series Dark?
I'm not sure, but Dallas just said those jeans look so good, Jason.
Why, thank you.
He's buttering you up.
He wants something, Chet.
I haven't seen it. I haven't even heard of it.
You haven't heard of it?
No.
The series is called Dark. It's a German series. Very good. I'm very addicted to it right now. I've been binging it on the flights. It's all crazy time travel, but boy, have they attacked it in a crazy way. It's really fun. You've seen clips, but you haven't watched it. It's really good.
I was just looking up the.
It's really. I've been watching it with the original German audio and American English subtitles. So that's the only way I can recommend it. I'm not a fan of dubs. There is an English dub for it if you're not into subtitle stuff.
Okay.
But if you can, I would suggest doing it with the original German audio. Really good. Really good. Highly recommended. So far, I'm not done with it, so I don't know. It may end horribly. I don't know. That's the thing that happens nowadays. You fall in love with a TV series and then it falls on its face, like by.
Or doesn't get like funding or something.
This one finished.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure this one finished, so it's done.
Oh, okay.
I'm watching it after the fact, right? So.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Couple little pin pricks of pure titanium white. I'm not mixing it with any of the yellows just to get the brightest areas of shine to poke a little bit more. And we can smooth out the details later if I want. But for now, this gives me a really good overall look on the gold, the way I want it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And keeps it away from the yellow of the shirt a little bit, right? By sticking to the warm yellow as my main yellow and really going under it with the orange. And now if you wanted to, you could glaze over the top of this with some of the green again, would be really cool. I know gold doesn't tarnish to green, but it does have a really cool effect on old, aged gold. Makes it fall into that more bronzy world when you do green over it, but it's a really cool way to dirty it up if you want to. So I like the gold and the silver and the wood on those came out really nice too. So I'm happy with the way the guns are turning out. So we're slowly working through it, chat. We've got our base coats down on a lot of them, and then zoom out a little bit. And now we're just going back and finding our values and
nice.
All of that. I still have to do all of the figure out if we're going to do the checker pattern on the pants and we're going to do the stripes on the shirt, the vest, the yellow vest. And then figure out all these other colors. Got to find my values and volumes on all the leather stuff still. And then of course the flesh I'll probably work out last.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
Been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like that gold. Jason?
Your phone screen's too small for subtitles? Ghost Center, you will have to get a TV. They're like $50.
All right.
You're actually out of burnt red. What? That's not a good color to run out of. Very, very important. I've watched a couple of John Wicks. They're fun. They're meaningless fun. I think they're meaningless fun. It's good. Any idea where the skin tone will be heading? So right now it's got that green and red oxide tint and the chrome green oxide on it, and some magenta. And I'm probably, depending on how the vest turns out, will really determine the bulk of that, because the vest and how yellow the vest looks will determine where I go with the greens. But I plan to punch some of the greens out of it. It'll just mean if it's more yellow green or stick to the more phthalo green, the more bluish greens out of it and go darker. Would be my first point. Right now it's kind of a good gray green with the other kind of flesh tone sunken into it, which I could stay with darker. Just depends. I'll build everything around the skin and let the skin be the final verdict on the whole thing, I think. I'm having fun. We've just been teaching people how to base coat with color and then bring all the volumes out with saturation and vibrancy as you paint, so that, you know, kind of showing how a single coat of paint can do a lot of work, but that there's still a lot more work you can do. It's the same way like with the Star Wars models that I painted. And, you know, this was my entire Legion army, punching close. My entire Legion army was one coat of OneStep paint over the top of a Zenithal highlight. That's all it is. There's no other highlighting done except for I dry brushed real quick the guns. I hit them with white blue because the details are so fine on a lot of the guns that the black on its own just didn't pop enough for me. So I dry brushed those. Nothing else was dry brushed or highlighted at all on these guys. So kind of doing that same effect here and showing you how, with a filter and an undercoat, like we did with all the browns, you can get a lot of detail, but then how much higher can you punch that detail by going through and building up your values and volumes over the top. So kind of a good exploratory way to hopefully show people how you can start a model and feel really good about it, and then go back and hit that model and bring in more and more to it, and never feel like you have to, well, if I say you never feel like you have to stop, then it means it's a never-ending model. But, you know, you can keep building on it and turn it into something you really like.
Cool.
Everybody, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Make sure to check out all the links that Chris tossed up in the chat there. Go check out monumenthobbies.com and monumenthobbies.eu, where this model, his brothers,
Yep.
right? Sidewinder Slim, the cockroach.
Yep.
He's selling you snake oil and guns and pocket watches out of his coat.
Mm-hmm.
And then Rufus, the muscle, the underbite mechanical orc. You can pick these up along with Willy. A really good characterful bunch done by Adrian Smith. Really
Both
love
on our US and our EU site. And I just put that US link up there in chat.
Yeah. Those are available on both sites. Go check those out, along with all of the expert acrylics. The last 6 in the series are out.
Yep.
I've been using a lot of those here, so hopefully you've been really enjoying that. Make sure to fill any holes you have in your hobby supply kit with our stuff. I think you'll really love it. Thanks for hanging out with us and watching some paint dry. Remember, we do this Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here from Monument Studio HQ. We'd love to see you back. Got nearly 7,000 members on the Discord. That's crazy. Thank you so much for all the support over there. Go make sure you jump on the Discord.
Super close, Ghost Hunter.
Be a lot. Going to get some good goblin green on the skin. I mean, he's a goblin and he's sort of green, so chances are good.
Maybe.
Chances are good, right? But go check it out. Thanks for all your support. Make sure to tune in, hit the follow or the subscribe button wherever you're watching. We do this live on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick simultaneously. We'd love to have you join us at any time. Being part of our community is great. We really appreciate you. Stick around. Chris is going to find us somebody to raid for some more hobby goodness as you go off into your evening, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow on Dose Day. Thanks so much, everybody. Adios.